Okay, we are live. Corey, take it away.
All right. Welcome to the season 20 of Corey's Org Legends. I am here with Mariah, with Gabe, with Rachel, and Miranda, and JP's hanging out in the background. And we are here for our cast assessment for season 20. We got 26 cast this season, all legends, all amazing players. This cast is stacked. So we're gonna try to rush through a little bit, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. So I'm gonna pass it over to Gabe.
Okay, so we have some basic stats of each player. Starting off in this cast assessment. Obviously, that being said, we don't have everything, but at the very least, we will have something so you guys know who we're talking about in this longer video since we have 26 people to go through. So we're going to just go ahead and start us off with Amy Adams, who is back for her third time. So she has played 2 seasons, made it to the end once, and um, that's the big kind of introduction to her. If anyone has anything they know about Amy, I think this is the perfect time to chime in since this is a more new school player, so I'm less
Yeah,
involved in this.
I will start if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And I think we all come through a different background of opinions. Like me hosting Corey's Org for 20 seasons. I think Gabe is a little bit different because he's hosted people in Corey's Org and other orgs. Mariah, Miranda, and Rachel have hosted people, but they've also played against people as well. So we all have kind of a different mind frame or opinion based on our experiences with them. But I say that with Amy, her first season, she played very under the radar, behind the scenes. Carrie was like the big time player that season with Megan, big personalities, and Amy did a lot of the legwork, kind of the villain role, and played very impressive and had a great final travel council. When she returned for season 18, um, she was very inactive at the beginning of the game, which she had Bobby that was willing to work with her, but just really didn't want to save her because there were so many people that were against her. So I have a feeling she can either make a deep run and play under the radar because there's a lot of big players, or if she starts off inactive in a cast of 13, she's going to be an easy first boot for people if she's not going to talk and be really active like she was in 18. So it really depends. I could see her making a deep run, but I can also see her being very inactive and being one of the first one or two people voted out of, I believe that's Gata.
Gotcha. It makes
I
sense.
agree to all of that. I love her as a person, but I'm really hoping that she brings out what she had in season 16 in this season. She's gonna have to because of the big old school and some newer school, bigger players. I want her to really step it up a little bit more.
Well, I think she's gonna do well. I think Carrie and Amy maybe get together and do something, and if they all three got to the merge, I really think they will work together.
I don't have any experience with Amy. I don't know her gameplay. I don't know her. I haven't seen her in games. I've been away for a little bit, so I'm anxious to see how she does.
Okay, I think that wraps up Amy for sure, in terms of how we feel about her. So I think we can move on to our other Amy in the season also. The Gata Tribe, it's Amy Zabel, another now 3-time player. So just going through her basic stats for now, she made it to the end twice. Now focusing only on her survivor games here. She has surprisingly only gotten 2 immunities. I kind of expected more, but also she has had quite a few advantages under her belt, mostly in season 13 where she had a chain advantage and idols, and I think she also had a no-go as well. That's not mentioned here since the list is long. There's more notable things about Amy, obviously, but for now, let me hand it over to one of the other co-hosts.
I can go. She is strong headed and she has her head on straight to the prize. She does not mess around. She knows what she's doing and she does it all for her. And this is one of the big people I was just talking about earlier. I'm really excited to see her dominate this game for sure.
I think again, like Mariah said, coming in, one of the biggest threats, one of the greatest choreographers of all time. She's never been voted out. She's never had her torch snuffed, which I can see people using that as a shield. And then I can also see people saying, hell, I'm not messing with her. She's got to go. I think she's really strong. I think she can make her way to the Legends Lounge. I think she has a lot of possible friends that she can link up with to make a deep run. I don't see her getting to the end, but I do see her making her way to probably merge. I know people are going to get afraid of her at some point and want to take her out. So I'm really interested to see and if Amy is going to make a run at it. I don't see a way for her to make it to the final three, just due to the so many freaking good players, and they're going to be smart enough. You can't take her to the end. So I've been wanting to snuff her torch for a long time. So.
Yeah, I think Amy is going to be a target because she have already won a season, and some player like, I'm going to take her out because she shouldn't be win again. I have won once. But I think she is very social and good at challenges and riddles and stuff. So I think she will go far.
I have played with Amy before, and I've actually played a few times with her. And she is a loyal player. Like, if she is loyal to you, she's loyal to you to the end. Like, so if she does make it to merge and you make it to the final, but she doesn't, she will rally for you in the jury chat. She will explain your moves that you've done together, how you guys work together. So that's one advantage of working with Amy. Working against Amy is very dangerous because she is a powerful player and she is very convincing, and she usually does what she says she's going to do. So if she's going to work with you, she's going to tell you what we're going to do, and you're going to do it, and she will just lead the way. She's a fantastic player. She does amazing in challenges. If she doesn't win the challenge, she's usually in second or third place. So she's a very fun one to watch.
Totally, I can 100% agree with that. As people can hear from these comments alone, I feel like Amy's play style is very much dominant, or as much as possible. There are different styles you can go ahead, but Amy definitely likes to be in charge, but also have the people around her be involved at the same time. That being said, with Amy, I think I'm not going to hedge my bets to say, oh, she's definitely making it to the end. But I will say, given her target and threat level, I would think that a number of people would want her around solely as a shield, at least making it to merge. And that's where, once the merge hits, I feel like it's very likely there to, if she can make it at least to the point where there are two obvious sides, then that will be the best for her, which I think is very possible. And we'll get through this later on, but clearly she has a knack of getting advantages. And I think in the new school era of Corey's org, where how advantage systems work, I think that social side of information spreading will work out for Amy quite a bit, as well as others, but her specifically as well. And also with regards to threat, I think most people might forget or could think of other orgs and not see the idea of her having made finals twice necessarily drilled in her head. But she is still a very popular player outside of this org either way. There's another person she's tied with, but when you go to the fantasy picks, she is tied with someone else who has had the most people pick her for fantasy, and that's definitely with good reason. There will be more we'll get to later on, but I definitely think this is one, if not the strongest legend we have in this cast. Do you guys have any more thoughts, or do we want to move on?
Just written down
Yeah.
here, and not necessarily they were close, but we do have 5 people from Slasher Island in this cast.
Mhm.
Again, they weren't super close in Slasher Island, but that's just something to look at too when it comes to previous seasons.
No, that's very fair. Trying to think of anything, but yes. All right, then I think we can move on to the next legend we have. So, third legend we have is Ashley Bartolomeo, obviously. Needless to say, she has made it to the end once in Blood vs. Water, and with all people, she made it to the end with her partner, Dan, who is also a legend in himself. I found that she has had quite the knack for advantages in general, and yeah, that's like a basic summary of her, but obviously there's more to say about her game, and I'm going to leave it over to you guys to fill in for this part for sure.
Who wants to go first? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna sit there. I think Ashley is super, super, super strong. I think she has a very good chance to make it to the end. Before we officially cast people, I kind of asked people, like, who do you want to see? Who do you not want to see? 90% of the people said Dan. I know this is not Dan, but this is the closest thing to Dan. And I think people want to gravitate to that. And I think people want to align with her. And I think she's going to be kind of a favorite of I want to work with her. She was one of the strongest next to Dan in her season of getting advantages, as you can see, 4 freaking idols. So she's going to be super strong. She's going to be going to the Legends Lounge a lot. A lot of people are going to align with her, which I guess could be bad in a way if people keep speaking of her name. But I really think she will definitely make the merge. I think she does have a chance to make it to the end. Just really depends on her threat level and not being so vocal and not being all out there and shiny saying, yay me, I got 4 idols or whatever it may be. But I really think Ashley has a shot to make it to the end. I have her definitely making the merge. Anyone?
I think just like Amy Zabel, she's definitely someone that is very loyal and that you really want to work with, but another one you don't want to cross. Because I feel like she's a firecracker and she will rip your head off if you cross her. She's one of the most competitive players that I have ever hosted. But I love that because she stays on top of everything and she will do anything and everything to get something. I mean, yeah, the 4 idols. I mean, come on. She stayed on top of all of that.
And she's dedicated. She took off
Very,
work to make sure she didn't miss anything on opening day.
Very dedicated.
Stuff like that. So, yes.
And I'll say this because I'll probably say it a lot with all of these women. We casted very strong women for this cast. And I would love to have more in the future.
Yeah, I think Ashley gonna do great. She's very social, I think, but don't cross her because she will get you. She's very smart, and with 4 idol, wow. Yeah, I do think she's gonna go past the merge, maybe to the finals. Maybe that she will get voted out because they think she is that good and social and nice to people. Her threat rather is big.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I think she has the best of both worlds too, because she got to see Dan early on and how Corey's Org was played. She got to play her first season a little bit more newer, and then this season she has a lot more knowledge as some of these newer school people. They're not used to the old school Corey's Org stuff. I think she's a little bit more familiar with that. So to have that kind of break into Dan's season, her season, and then now, I think helps her in regards to getting advantages and knowing what's next too. So I think that's a huge benefit for her.
I think as well, since 2 points that both Rachel and Corey mentioned separately. Firstly, just the idea that she played 4 idols in her season. That is insane. And those were like separate idols, not some double idol at play or something, as far as I could tell. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, then when it comes to the seasons that she played, obviously just 15, and Dan was there in 11, but she could have been in the background of video calls or something. Um, 15 was probably a really good season to play, given she's playing season 20, because she will have more connections to the old school players than most people would realize. Even if though I think there are only two or three other people from seasons 15, definitely Trenton and Christina, which people might not consider them as season 15 people. Another thing I love about Ashley is her social charm. I think she is, I don't say supremely underrated in it. I think people know that she is very friendly, but all things considered, obviously she's married to Dan, but the they were quite such a power duo together. Obviously, the qualities that Dan attracts in other people, Ashley complements those in opposite way. So essentially, people that want a softer side or something will be more attracted to Ashley in terms of creating those social bonds, and that's part of why I think they did so great as well. I think Ashley is someone that I really think will have the most connections with people, organic connections with people. And if something happens where people find out and want to take her down and she ends up in the minority, I truly think she will be the most likely to bounce back to a connected position. Not sure if there are any thoughts that I missed someone might have had. Okay, then we'll jump off to the next person. So we have Austin, now our six-time player, first person we have from Wassa Wassa tribe. Austin obviously has an array of stats in his profile, and as you can see, the one obvious thing is the advantages, where I just did not want to list them. I will say, at the very least, notably about Austin is that he had what did possess 9 advantages in season 10, where he then got voted out, but actually had an additional 2 prior, which he had used, if not the third one that I'm forgetting. I believe he had a total of 11 in that season. But for now, like, consider that as the intro, and I'll let other people chime in until I talk back.
Gabe, do you have written down how many game changers we have on this cast?
I have one sec. It is quite a bit. I think 7, but let
It
me
is
confirm.
quite a bit.
That's one thing I forgot to write down was game changers.
Yeah, exactly 7 people.
Okay. Who's anyone want to start with Austin?
He's the Godfather, besides Gabe. But I've played. How many have I played? 1, 2, 3 games with Austin,
Mm-hmm.
and I think season 3 I didn't really get to know him that much that I remember, because he kind of dropped out a little, I think, soon, so I didn't really get to meet him at that time, but got to really get to know him after season 3 ended, and tried to play with him in season 6 until he got blindsided. I also was blindsided. And then tried to work with him again in season 10, and no, as soon as I knew it was the bottom of his alliance, he was the leader, and I was like, I gotta flip, and I did, and I went against him, and he got me. I went after the people he was the most loyal to. So another one that watch what you say. He's very smart, and he knows how to get his pawns in a row, his ducks in a row, and do certain things. But he's an amazing player. Obviously, is good at riddles or whatever we did season 10 with the grids and everything, to get all of those advantages. So, yeah, another great player.
Yes, Austin is a very good player. I played with him in All Star and Game Changer, and every time everyone talked about him, we were like, "Okay, we had to take this person out because she's connected or he connected to Austin, and we want to weaken Austin because he is a big threat, and we don't want him to go to the end. And I like, okay. And but he really good with riddles. He got a lot of advantages. And I think that also was killing him in Game Changer because they like, nope. If we don't let him one more time, he would go straight to the end. So they got rid of him that because he was that good. But I think if he aligned with the right people, maybe he will go good. But I don't know. His threat level is really pretty high.
Okay, I'm gonna take a minute and talk about Austin. I remember playing season 5 and getting voted out early, and then right after season 5, there was a sequester, and Austin was one of the very first ones to reach out to me and say, "Hey, this is how it's played," because I've never played a sequester before. I was still very new to orgs. I was just been playing orgs for a couple months, and he was telling me like, "Okay, with this challenge, this is what needs to happen." Like he knew the strategy behind everything. And then another thing, having been there hosting a few of his games and seeing him play, he was the one that taught me to go to Survivor Wiki. He just has so much knowledge about survivors. He can look at a picture of just their clothing and he knows who it is in seconds. You put up a picture of a survivor, he knows who it is. And so I think that's one of the things that makes him so good at getting advantages is that these little riddles and trivia and things, he's able to just visually see it and know. And that's what gets him to the lounges. That's what gets him to the grids. That's what gets him to earn those advantages. And so Austin is very, like, he's very charming. And like, every time that I've played with Austin, we've never been on opposite sides, but one way or another, one of us is voted out. But every time I played with Austin, he's shared information with me so to see if I had information to share with him. And there was times where I had zero information, I had no idea, but he would still give me a little bit of information to show trust. So he's very good at earning trust. He's very good at getting the advantages. He's good at all the things. And that's just what makes him a threat and gets him out of the game early. That's what doesn't allow him to get to the end, is how good he is.
I totally agree with basically every point that Miranda said. Austin obviously is a very, very great player and dedicated to Survivor itself, which helps him out. He's clearly obsessed, and I relate to that, and I love it for it. I think it ends up being literally threat management, and this is ironically where Austin's personality could hurt him a bit, where there are these moments, and this happens to other people as well, where there could be a challenge where you can perfect it and get the 100% best score, and people don't see the loopholes that Austin is able to see. But because he showcases those extra 10% in the challenges, that's what makes people more afraid of him, or at least afraid enough to tap him in their minds of, okay, this is a threat. I need to consider him as a threat, which you can still do, but then obviously you are playing a game that you need to control a lot more. Which, to be fair, Austin is very someone that puts in a lot of time in the game. He isn't someone that would outrightly screw up by needing to put more time in. So he can still do it either way. But threat management is a part of it. One thing for sure, another thing to consider is there are some games where I've seen Austin essentially have too many close allies to choose from, where, let's say, number ones in general. So he might end up, what I fear is if he has a number one in a pre-swap tribe, another number one in a swap, another number one in a post-swap, both of those have a secret number two, and he's calling them number ones. Then he gets to the merge and has, let's say, 5 number ones, and people talk and can feel a bit more betrayed about it. So if he doesn't do that, and I'm only genuinely quoting that from 2 of the 6 seasons he's played, 5, sorry. And so hopefully, if he doesn't do that kind of style of play, I really think that it would work out a lot better for him, and he would be, um, if he can just refine that, it would work out really great for him.
Okay. I have a hot take for y'all. I think
Okay.
Austin has a very good shot this season, more than any other season. I
Mhm.
think it's going to benefit him from not playing in the last 10 seasons. I think coming into season 6 and season 10, he was possibly the biggest threat there besides Gabe. But now there's so many. There's Amy, there's Ashley, there's Bobby, there's Carrie, there's winners. There's so many different people that people are not coming in or going onto
Mhm.
the island and just mainly saying, "Oh my God, it's Austin. He's a threat." He's got so many shields around him this season that people are not even going to look at Austin as much as they did in season 6. I think y'all went on the island on season 6 and 10. We're like, oh, look at Austin. Like he's a threat. This time he's got so many shields this time. And I think you did a good explanation, Miranda. He uses stuff to build trust.
Mhm.
So if he doesn't use a lot of people, kind of like what Gabe said, and get himself caught, I think he has a very good shot. I think he does have Nick. He does has some OG. I would love to see an OG Corey Zorg alliance to take over. That would be kind of cool. And he does have Megan. I remember Megan's husband married him.
Mhm.
Then Megan is attached to Bobby and Carrie and Amy, so it can all link together. He can be in this huge, huge alliance. And of course, we know he's good at winning immunities. He's good at going to make his way to the Legends Lounge. He's going to fill his pockets up. He's also good with Corey Zorg trivia, which we don't have a lot of trivia this season, but we have a lot of tributes to different things, like stuff in the Legends Lounge. A Cody or Amy Adams, if they get there, they're not going to know certain things that we would know, you know. But Austin would, and he would pick those out. I think Austin would see Gabe and know exactly what you were going to give them, Gabe. A lot of people probably wouldn't and be like, "Oh, there's that Gabe guy. Let me pick him." But so I think that's where it comes in handy for Austin. Again, lower his threat level, keep the shields in the game. Get a big alliance going with people that he usually doesn't work with. I think Austin has a really good shot to make it far in this game if he can do all of those things. Super smart, super dedicated. In any Survivor org, he's always going to excel in. But I think he has a bigger shot this time. I think he's so upset with season 6. He got taken out so quick because of his threat level. But I really do think he has a good shot here.
One last thing I'd like to add, and again, this came actually from Corey's points explaining this is actually a better season for Austin as well because there are less friends that he has around, less people that he will feel indebted to try help out. And that will genuinely help Austin out, I feel like, a lot more if he ends up, if all those people that are considered more of Austin's friends are early boots, I think that would even be even better for Austin, and he can play the game more naturally and organically, and it will work out more so to align with people for game sense, basically.
Yeah, and like what Rachel said, like let's take out this person to weaken Austin. Let's take out this person to weaken Austin. Here, he doesn't have that, so it's definitely going to benefit him in the long run.
Okay, I think we can move on to the next person now. So let's see. We're sick of Austin. No, I'm kidding.
We can talk all day about Austin, probably.
So our fifth person, our fifth legend is Ben. So Ben has only played one season, which was season 12, Champions versus Contenders. Made it to the end. Very dominant player, and we'll get to that probably. Won 4 immunities and had a bootload of advantages for a single season person. Let's get started. Who wants to go ahead and explain Ben's game?
Oh, the person who played with him.
The only person here that has played with him.
I did too.
think he's a great player. That's why he's here.
Mhm.
I hope this season that he makes better personal connections with people, even if he truly does not want to do that. That's fine, whatever. But that was his biggest downfall in season 12. He made great conversations with people, but you can't get around. There's going to be people going to be taking these games personally, and there's going to be a lot of emotion behind it. And I don't think that he will ever really understand that. And I'm hoping that maybe in this season he can and have more of those one-on-ones. I mean, it is a lying game, so of course there's still going to be lying, but he needs to do a little bit more jury management if he's going to at least make it to merge. He needs more jury management, I feel like. But in season 12, like I said, I felt like I did work somewhat closely with him only because I was really close with Brandon. And we'll get to him in a minute. But other than that, it comes down to jury management. I think that's his only downfall that I can think of game-wise.
Yeah, I applied with Ben in Trader, and he got 4th place, I believe. And he was pretty good. I mean, he talked crap about people, and they didn't like it, but they couldn't do anything because they didn't have the votes. I mean, the votes got not votes, but things so they can be managed. Yeah, he definitely had to work with his personality about talking towards other people. Hopefully, he have learned some things about how to do that. I don't know if he would go that far if he don't learn that, but he could go far.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. So I think Mariah, you would probably again know him best since you played alongside of him and was in alliance with him. So you probably were on a lot of calls and dealt with him a lot. But from a host standpoint, very dominant. Like super impressive to watch him play against a pretty good cast. I enjoyed season 12. A lot of good players. Again, just as his advantage says, I'm 50-50 with him. Like, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but he's kind of the Russell Hantz of Corey's org. Like he's very dominant. He's very impressive to watch. It's fun to watch. He's great TV. But you kind of want to root against this guy because when you do have these personal connections with people, he really doesn't care. He doesn't really take time and commit and like get to know you on a personal level. It's always, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. I can't do this. I don't understand this. And it pisses people off. Now, one thing playing against legends, I think it will be different because these people are super active and ready to play. And I think they will respect it a little bit more than season 12, where the jury was kind of inactive players and not so dedicated players. So they took it more on a personal level and voted based on who they were friends with and who was nice to them, which he didn't, of course, benefit from. So I think this season, hopefully, he works on that. But I think he would still, if he plays the same game, he has a better shot to win with this kind of caliber people that's going to be in the jury. Because regardless who gets voted out, like it's going to be a stellar jury regardless. All 26 of these people are amazing. So we're going to have a better jury here. But I think we all hit the nail on the coffin. Like just reach out, be personable, be kind, be genuine. We know that you can find advantages. We know you can win immunity challenges. We know he had an amazing an alliance with LJ and Brandon and Bianca and kind of with Mariah, but not really. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that, with Ben, Brandon, LJ, and Bianca. Like he did them kind of dirty. Are they going to work with him again? Will they keep him and try to take him out again? Will LJ pull a Sarah and revenge and take him out? Like what's going to happen with that alliance? And I'm excited to see what happens with an ego like Ben against Nick or against Austin or against Amy? Like, are they going to work together? Are they going to clash? I'm really interested to seeing what his Legends season is going to be about. I really don't know where Ben sits, and is Bianca going to work with him? Is that still a thing? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks for Ben. He's definitely a dominating player. Socially and jury management is something he definitely needs to work on if he wants to have a chance at the end.
So I enter here. People have made very good points, don't get me wrong. I've played with Ben before him ending in Corey's Org. He actually is here because I suggested him to play Corey's Org. He made
Can I
it
ask where y'all played together?
Pandora, the Justin McCorbury one.
Gotcha. Okay.
He made it to 5th place, and he essentially, as usual, was one of those. He's someone who always ends up being in a leader type position. If it's this person's group, it's always Ben's group and this other person's group. He's that kind of player. I will say, unlike what Corey said, I kind of thought season 12 had weaker games, to be quite honest. Genuinely, 5 of the top 6 and Mariah, I respected their games, and the rest I didn't really find them to have that much substance unless they had more one-to-one chats that I couldn't see. But basing it on the confessionals and the alliance chats I could see, that's my take from it. As you guys will see later on, the people that played season 12 all are top 6 players, and the people that end up in the final 6, since Mara is a host here. But aside from that, I think honestly, so since I had mentioned that about the cast, that is what honestly more so worries me about Ben, in terms of having people here in this cast where there are more A-type personalities who want to dominate as well. That is what I am unsure of how that will work out. That being said, I still actually think he does have more of social capital. Everything he did was social capital at the end of the day. So this is actually a quote, paraphrasing quote from Dan, who ended up in a talking recently. He had said, if you grab 4 people at the very start, there's nothing that, as long as they all trust each other and are 100% for each other, nothing stops them from ending up to the end. Ben proved that, making a foursome in the merge and them all ending in the final 4. And same win multiple ways as seen before. I think Ben will be very useful to grab a group of people and push them forward, and he will be helpful for others. I just hope, I truly think for himself, it would only him to go out would be either some kind of lack of compromise or a swap screw, honestly, in terms of him going out in the pre-merge. So it really depends what kind of face he'll grab. But I truly, genuinely think that he would personally collect with that select group of people that will be his people and will talk to them in a very personable way, which I know is a different take from what other you guys have said.
Yeah, I do hope that happen.
Okay. That's all from Ben. Still very impressive with all those advantages he got in one season and everything, and that is why he's here. Which, yeah, we can move on. So next player we have is Bianca, also the season 12 winner, in fact. So she has already played 5 seasons, spanning all the way through her arc, making it to the end twice. In fact, her last one was the win. Has 5 immunities under her belt, and surprisingly, I did not know that she has. As long as I got it right, it seems like she has never actually had an advantage under her belt. Maybe I couldn't find it, but that is interesting. Anyways, I'll
I
leave
don't
it with you.
think so, unless somebody played a no-go on her.
Uh,
I
Nick
think there
played.
was something involved her, but I think it wasn't her. I don't think it was her advantage.
Nick played an idol on her publicly, like, but it's still Nick's idol.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Bianca. I have played with her twice. No, 3 times. I guess. Well, in season 6, I didn't really get to connect with her. I think she got voted out before we were able to swap and be together. But in 10 and 12, I definitely tried my best to work with her. But she was in the majority alliance with Austin and them in season 10 and Ben and them in season 12. And I think she's great. I just wish that she can kind of come out from hiding behind a lot of the bigger targets. Like she's an underdog. I feel like she's really good, but I want her to come out more and do things on her own. I mean, obviously she's won season 12 and proud of her for it. I just want her to stop hiding behind the bigger egos.
I'll piggyback off of you, but yes, Bianca is super great. I mean, I think that's really impressive to have no advantages, in all of those seasons played. But yeah, she's super smart. I think there's so many people here. There's so many legends. I don't think people are going to be focusing on winners. I don't think when you come into this game, people are going to be like, oh my God, get Bianca. Again, I think it's going to be the bigger names. So she does have that to benefit from. She has another thing to benefit from, like Austin has played in kind of different eras of Corey's org. She knows a lot of older things, newer things, mid. So again, hopefully she can link up and make an old school Corey's org alliance. I'm hoping she, in a way, she's already beat Ben, but kind of take him out in a way just for poetic justice. But it would be kind of cool. And then I think her and Topher, Chris Collins, they seem to always link up. They're kind of like the Colby and Jerry. They always play together. Are they going to link up this time? Or are they going to take each other out? And I understand what Mariah's saying. And obviously, we could be wrong because obviously it worked for her in season 12. But I think she uses the shield game a lot. Season 4 behind Bo, season 6 behind Gabe, season 10 behind Gabe, season 12 behind Ben, but it worked for her in season 12. So I just want to see Bianca, and again, this may be a way for her to be voted out, so that would suck, but I just want to see her take control, her to be in charge, her to make her own decisions, her to have her fate in her own game and be in charge and do something on her own rather than playing the shield game, which again, she got the win on one of them, but just something different because she has played 5 times. So I'm looking forward to seeing if she can make it far. Again, I think she's a low threat level just because there's a lot of big personalities. So I do think she has a good chance to make the merge and then hopefully make it all the way to the end.
I will say, having played season 10 with Bianca, she is very well connected. Like she gets information from everywhere. Everybody wants to talk to her. People share information with her, so she's able to gain trust easily. So when I did play with her in season 10, she would say, I've heard this name is out there. I've heard that there's 5 people on this name. Like she had information. She could get information out of people. But I think what we're saying here is like we'd kind of like to see her take charge in one of these votes, in one of these challenges, to take charge and kind of be that leader in one of these, because we know she can do it. We know what she's capable of. We just like to see it in her gameplay.
Yeah.
Season 9.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yes, season 9.
I was about to say, you were in 10?
No, season 9.
Okay.
I was the same way. I'm like, no, I was on season 6 and 10. I believe we have never actually worked together. We may merge on 10, but she was always on a different side. And I didn't feel like she would take charge of anything. She was very social and talk to me about life and stuff, but we never actually talk about game and stuff. I didn't never really know where her head was in any of the games. So maybe she needs to take more charge of the game. I know she won season 12, but this is different because of All-Star and everything. But I think if she played a little more differently than this time, she would go far. Or at least I hope so.
Honestly, for me, if she wants to win again, then I think she should use the same formula. If she wants to change it up just because she wants to change it up, by all means, feel free. It would be entertaining either way.
I mean, I
I
see what you're
Mhm.
saying, but maybe not with this cast.
I think Bianca has an echo on some of these seasons, particularly season 6 and 10, playing the middle, and and I really think she can play the middle re- really well, at
She did.
least for a few rounds. Um, she has played double agent at least in those 2 seasons, which were 2 major seasons, given they both were the longest choreographed seasons that have ever been. Even this one will be shorter than season 6 and 10, which shows as well how what's called some people don't have the patience and will rush to make a move too quickly. She knows how to wait. She knows how to wait, and that will genuinely work out for her. She, I think she's the kind of player that will only do 2 big moves for herself, but if she manages to do it, timing wise and everything, it will be enough for to work out for her, and she'd get the kill. That being said, despite me saying everything, I actually think she's one of like when you go through the 5 winners, there's Amy Zabel, obviously big threat. I think Bianca, possibly it's questionable. In my head, she could be um, the next big threat of them. It's kind of
I would
hard to
say
tell.
yes.
Uh-huh. Essentially, I still think of her at the very least as a middle level threat, by the way. I'm not going to put her in a dominant position, but I definitely put her somewhere between a third command and jumping either side where she should have more preservation. And even the times when she went out, aside from season 9, it always seemed to be um, either lacking options or her being a winner threat.
And this, I don't think we're knocking Bianca at all. I mean,
Mhm.
she's an amazing, smart player.
Uh,
I think we're just wanting to see something exciting. I think for 5 seasons, we saw the roller coaster go up and it stopped, and we waited for it to go down and see something exciting and say, "Yay, Bianca!" And we just never got to see that. So that's why,
mhm.
again, I think you're right. She does need to play that game this time because of all these threats. But I guess we've been seeing her play so long, we just want to see a different version of her.
I think, ironically, the version that you are talking about would have been season 6 in particular if things went her way in the final 7 votes, and it would have carried out. So in that sort of way, but I get you genuinely. Uh,
I think that's it.
Yeah, makes sense. We are obviously taking a lot more time than I thought. Next up is Bobby, um, another person who has made it to the end. This time it's season 18, which is a very recent season. 5 immunity wins in his season, 0 votes, and still advantages in his pocket. That is already an insane story just as a 1 season run, but I'll let it go to other hosts who have seen him more up close.
I will speak to Bobby on this one. He's the only person possibly other than Keanu what I would put up there near Gabe. All around, just dominant. Every aspect of the game, challenges, finding advantages, connecting with people. I don't know how many people that we've had message, I really like Bobby. I want to work with Bobby. I'm with Bobby. I love Bobby. And everyone was messaging them, just like they used to say, I'm with Gabe. I'm with Gabe. I'm with Gabe. I love Gabe. I'm with Gabe. It's with Bobby. It is super, super impressive. I don't know how he does it. I love his passion. I love his commitment. When we used to post things, he would pull over to the side of the road. There's some people in his season that looked at it and then rolled back around in their bed and didn't do anything. This man would pull over on the side of the road to solve these, to make sure he got them, and not make sure that he got them, but to make sure he knew where the advantages lied the whole time. Dominated the game so much where the person he went against at the end told everyone he ran the game like he was my teacher. So I think he's coming in a little bit pissed as probably the most robbed, runner-up winner of all time from Corey's org. So I think he has something to prove. I don't know what he can do to improve on. Like, he was very social and very kind and genuine with all of his people as far as we know. But he does come in with his wife on the other side, which is big. I think if like Becky played and Ingrid played, I think he would be able to downplay that. But without them there, that's huge. I think they may take a shot at Carrie at some point and keep Bobby around, vice versa. I think Bobby will probably stick around a little bit longer. But he is very, very good. I see him possibly making a deep run if they don't cut him before Carrie. I really like him. I love his commitment. I love his passion. Again, I think he's played one time and he's already in my top 5 possibly of all time. I mean, he played a very, very good season. I hate that he couldn't get the win, but I think he has something to prove just because of him losing the way he did. So I rank Bobby way up there. I have him listed as one of my threats, big time threats. So if he can link up with Carrie and then Carrie can get Amy Adams or Megan, and then Megan can get Austin, and they just create this big alliance, I think he can make it far. So I think either himself or Carrie will get cut early, and then the other one will make a deep run. That's all I got for Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby is a threat, I think, in this game too. Not as big as Austin, but a threat. Yes, having your wife play is also a threat, but that only 2 people. So, also that he do connect personally with them, and I think maybe that why he didn't win season 18, because people were thinking that, hey, this is my friend and he voted me out. How could he? And not in a game, this is a good game mood or something. And I wish they didn't thought that, because I really thought he should have had 1 too.
Bobby's like another org dad, just like Dan. So of course he's very lovable, and you just want to hear him and work with him. And he's definitely one of my top 5. I put him in my fantasy for sure. I also put Carrie there just in case, but I do agree with Corey that one of them most likely will be cut early, and the other one will make it deep. I'm hoping to the very end and winning it, but he's an amazing player. Very committed, like Corey said. Like some other people that have also played, he just pulls over. He'll do anything to help. And not only did I feel like he went into, I forgot what we called it that season.
Backstage
To see where everything was, but he made sure, like he kind of helped out and told certain people, hey, this is what this is. I've already opened that, or hey, why don't you go in there and check this out? Like he he kind of shared just enough where he would also get that information back to him. He was really good with that. So I'm excited to see him go far with his wife.
Super smart, super strategic. I mean, even just the fact of wanting to like, hey guys, let's get on a video call, let's talk, and just to build those bonds. Yeah, super impressive. Anyone else?
Really quick, I don't know Bobby all too well. Seeing him in the chats, and I am excited to see him. The qualities I see in him at the very least is mostly his social side, which is very positive. I like that he's coming in, and he I really don't see him as someone that is bitter or trying to find some sort of revenge. If there is even anyone from season 18 he can get revenge on. He With the way he talks to people, he's very down to earth, and it's a good start. The question is, since you guys mentioned Carrie, obviously, is how that will affect, especially with the one world twist. Obviously, there's needed given the
Mhm.
couples and everything, but I am curious. It seems like he is pushing the idea of, hey, just so you guys know, I have Carrie. We can link her up, and I don't know how it would work out for him. That is my concern. It would have been better for him, I feel like, if he tried to kind of separate away. But that being said, if he is able to do it and succeeds to convince people he's going to pull her in and cut her at 5 or whatever he's saying, with the group of people he chose, he is aligning with closer. There's a there's a non-zero chance it can work. I'm not as confident, but still, I am very much excited to see how the whole game will plan out for him, especially.
Okay.
I can move on to the rest. Brandon. So back to season 12. Another one-time player cut at the very end at Final Four. He had 2 immunities and only 4 votes, all things considered. So very under the radar. I'll get to more about what I think about him, but let's just say that's the introduction for Brandon. Feel free to jump in someone from season 2 related. Mm-hmm.
Another one that
Mm-hmm.
I've played with, not only in season 12, but I did play as a quester with him and made it to the end with him. We made a lot of decisions together. He is a very loyal player. I think in this game, he's as soon as he says like you're going to be my number one, he really truly means it, and you're going to be his number one to the very end. I thought that was me. It wasn't. He does keep his secrets. You tell him you have an idol or an advantage, he will keep that for you. He will not say a word. So he's very loyal. He's very lovable. Definitely someone I hope makes it, because he's my all-star. So he better make it. He better make it to the end.
Brandon, I think, is one of the newer schooler guys that could possibly win this. It's crazy to think season 12, and this has been 8 seasons. Looking at the graphic, I was like, wait. But yeah, I really think he has a good shot as well. I think we've said that for everybody. Somebody's got to be first boot.
It's legends. So
I know.
every
It's
single
like,
one of these
every
people-
slide is like, oh, he's good too. But no, I think a lot of people, and I don't know a lot about Brandon outside of Corey's work. I don't know a lot of his game. I know some of these people have played several games. I don't know that about Brandon. I don't know how well he is friends with any of these people other than Ben, LJ, and Bianca. So I don't know who he's connected with, but I feel like he's very open and honest and genuine and will get to know people really easy. And he's someone that can connect with like Austin and Nick or Bianca, or well, of course Bianca, but other people from old school Corey's org, and he will build that bond and go far. So I'm hoping he makes it really far. I'm hoping he gets to the end. I know several times he has messaged me. He's gotten always like fourth and almost made it to the end of several orgs he's played. So I hope he can find someone as gullible as Mariah and make their way to the but no, I really love Brandon. He seems like a genuine, like kind dude. I really respect him and I love his gameplay. I think he would have 100% won if he made it to the end of his season against any one of those last 4 or 5.
I think that's what it was. He keeps your secret so well, he doesn't remind you that you also have an idol and you should play it.
So hopefully he's, I think he was so likable they were afraid that he was going to win, which he would have been. So if he can somewhat hide that a little bit more and camouflage that, I think Brandon is definitely one to look out for.
I think season 12 was one of the last seasons that I like actively helped host. And I remember watching Brandon's confessionals, and I just loved hearing his strategy and hearing his thoughts, thinking out how things will play out. And I really liked his strategy and his mindset going into all these things. He thought about all the possibilities. He kind of laid out, well, if I take this person out, then that opens up this connection better, but then it also makes this one a little more difficult. So I like watching Brandon play. It's a lot of fun, and I hope to see him go really deep in the game.
I also want to chime in. Brandon is a very interesting case. Firstly, I think everyone here, it's by consensus that if just one challenge went differently, Brandon would have won hands down. I truly think he was an A-star player that season. Not only that, something that I was mentioning before about how Bianca plays the middle. Despite what I said about the costs, Brandon still ingrained himself where, aside from the people that came from Redemption Island, I truly think that everyone on the final 12 was closely aligned with Brandon. Of all those people, every single one of them, aside from maybe Ruan, but he still had an alliance with him. He is really, really good. Everything that was mentioned here, with how close he can connect, knows what to say, knows when to wait to make a move, had a whole structure of people that went out, did what Ben could not do, have a group of people that I believe he had voted out. Yeah, I'm going through them. He did actually vote these people out, and he still would have gained their votes guaranteed, which is something definitely underrated as a skill to have. And these people didn't just leave neutral; they went in the jury championing for Brandon. It is very exciting to see him. I'm surprised it's taken this long for him to come back, but I know at the same time that wasn't Corey's decision. Basically, I know that Brandon has also been excited to play again, and the timing has just never worked out for him to do so. So this is definitely a great time for him to come back, and I don't particularly think that anyone is eyeing Brandon as someone that needs to be taken out either. As far as I know, coming into the game.
That's big what you said, Gabe, though. Just how many Orgers can you think of or Survivor players you could think of is you got blindsided or voted out by him thinking you were with him. They go to the jury and say, I want him to win. Like, how many people can you say that about? That's very impressive.
I think how he probably framed it was, oh, he was just voting with majority, but still very, very true.
Right.
Exactly.
I
so
thought you were about to come out with a list when I said how many Orgers.
No. Big praises, extremely big praises. Definitely the first big A+ player that came from the newer people.
Ooh. Gabe says, screw you, Bobby.
First, I said first. Does anyone have any other things to say, or we will move on?
Moving on.
Okay, so our ninth person, our ninth legend, Cameron, one-time player from season 13, obviously known for the big red button, but we'll get to that later probably. he made it midway through his season with an immunity in his line, and I'll just leave it up to the rest of the people to fill in the blanks here.
I'll go first. For Cameron, I don't know if I've actually played with Cameron, but I've been hosted by Cameron before. And having watched him in his season playing here, he has a very strategic mind. He also has a different sense of humor than a lot of people. So if you don't get a sense of humor, you don't really get Cameron, and you might be off put by him. But he's just silly and goofy and trying to be funny. And one thing that concerns me about Cameron is that he kind of gets wrapped up in life and forgets that he's playing the game too. Not necessarily forgets that he's playing, but he forgets to talk to people. He still plays the game 100%. He puts everything into it. He'll dress up for the challenges. He'll do the challenges the best he can, but he forgets to make those relationships with the other players to help him get further in the game.
I don't have much to say about Cameron. I knew you would, Miranda, because you've always spoken very highly about him in our personal conversations. But I really liked him in his season that he had. It's crazy to think there was 14 and he placed 7th. But of course, he's known for his red button press, and he had to go live, and he loves to still send me gifs of that randomly. I'll get a message from him. But I also hosted him in Snake in the Grass. And as one of the several episodes I've done of Snake in the Grass, where he was probably the best snake I've had. Everyone, he was super impressive, like how he lied to everyone and how he had a straight face. So he's one of the ones I have written down here in my wild cards because I don't know much about him. I don't know how he plays these long-term games. He's definitely not one of the big name orgers that I'm used to seeing play orgs all the time. So I think that definitely helps him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Cameron.
Yeah, Corey, I was there when you told him he had to push the button. He's like, no, I don't think so. Can we pass about that? And you're like, no, we had to push the button. He was not happy. I don't personally remember a lot about him, but I hope he do well in this game, Legend, and we don't have a red button for him to push.
Season 13 was my first season hosting, and I don't remember a whole lot in the beginning of that season, besides the pressing of the red button. That was pretty iconic. But I think from what I've heard in other orgs, this could be wrong, he plays kind of a villain game. So as a mostly other villain player, I love that. So I can't wait to see more of it. So, and learn more about him, I guess.
So I'm going to focus first on his season 13 game. The one thing that is worth noting, kind of at the very least, is the way that he socializes. It is surprising how much he can, I wouldn't say jump ship, but explore other options at the very least. So, for instance, at the merge of season 13, there was a safety chain played, and it was Diane who picked him as the person next when he had never been on a tribe with Diane, which is definitely at the very least. I don't know if they have played other games together or something. It's a possibility, but that is definitely some sort of benefit as to how he had managed to gain safety out of that. Worth noting as well, he was the victim of an idle play where it was a 4-3 vote and it was Amy that was supposed to go home. Obviously, Amy was very much aware and used an idol correctly and took out Cameron. I think that speaks volumes in terms of the threat that Cameron is to be taken out of a 4-person group in such a dire stage. I'll leave it as that in terms of season 13. Hosting him in Premiere, I'll add this since it will add more context. It's very interesting. I've heard him be I hear people say he's a villain, and I've seen from a game him being more selfish. When I did host him in Premiere, all things considered, for me, I really wanted to give him the hero title. Like, he works with a group of people, he compromises with people from the other side, which is all good. Then the villainous parts is him um, face palming himself about the actions that his other alliance members do, which all things considered, I do as well, sometimes, depending on the alliance. I don't particularly see. I did not particularly see Cameron as a villain in that instance, to be quite honest. I do think he played selfish games in the past, and he has gotten that attribute, and it has carried out. And sometimes he leans into it, and sometimes he doesn't. So I don't know how he will play. I truly do not. He is a wild card for me. I've also seen him play both active games and lesser active games. When I hosted him, I can hand to heart say that he was definitely a more active player, and I really hope that this will be the case. But I truly don't have any particular strong hard predictions about how Cameron's game will go out, really and truly.
All done.
Okay, we can jump on the next person. Okay, we have Carrie, obvious counterpart to Bobby, but we'll get through her as well. Another finisher of Corey Zorg, so she made it to second place, had a boatload of advantages as well, and two immunities. You guys can see that she did incur one vote. I will put a small asterisk there that she did use an idol, so it's questionable if you want to count it or not. So really and truly, all things considered, if you add three more immunities, maybe she would just be female Bobby, just stats wise alone. But anyways, I'll leave it over to you guys since obviously you can fill the blanks more here.
Again, I think with Bobby, another person that really dominated every aspect of her season. But the jury is the jury. They just didn't respect her way of playing. They didn't respect that she had all the advantages. I think she made a few minor mistakes in her final tribal speech, which may have swayed a few votes. So I will put that on her, that she did say some things that she shouldn't have in her final speech that could have swayed a few people. But I really, really, really like Carrie. Again, just dominant all the way around. Very social, gets to know people, very genuine in your conversations with her. It's just going to be tough with her husband being very good as well, and on the other tribe. I think they definitely benefit from the one world aspect of things. Hopefully they can use that as their advantage. Like, hey, I have an extra number. Come with me. Work with me. But I think she's very, very likely to do well. It just really depends on these next few weeks. If she really bonds with people, getting with some old school Corey Orgers. I think people see someone that wins a lot of advantages and take it kind of as a downfall, but in my opinion, she knew about all the advantages, like all of hers that she had. Plus, she knew about other people's advantages because they ran to her. People shared information with her. People are open with her. Like, not many people do that with a lot of people. She had a lot of people going to her with things. She had a lot of knowledge in the game. I think she knew about every single advantage in the game except for the early on one that Megan had. So I really like her. Again, another one that ranks really high for me is Carrie. With the same thing as Bobby, I think she's going to get cut early, or Bobby's going to be cut early, and then one of the other two is going to go on a deep run. But there's nothing bad I have to say against Carrie. I love her.
Yeah, I think Carrie is a great person. I mean, she was social. She know how to do alliance. All three of her alliance person went to the inn, and they also playing with her. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If they all make it to the merge, she probably more a threat level than Bobby because she had like 4 people then Bobby only had like a couple of them. But yeah, I do believe that Carrie or Bobby would be cut early on. Maybe before merge, maybe after merge, but I don't think the other player will allow them all to go. But good luck.
I don't personally know Bobby or Carrie. I've not played with them. I didn't really watch either of their seasons, unfortunately. So I am very curious to watch this season play out and to see if they are going to work closely and form a group of other people with them. Or like if Gabe said, if they're going to kind of separate themselves and kind of have their own groups yet work together, like the two of them, because they live together. But see if they can each form their own group and kind of work towards a goal without necessarily being together, to see if they're able to work the game that way. I'm just excited and anxious to see how that plays out.
I wanted
would say-
to,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I wanted to add something I had written down about Carrie.
Oh,
Well,
go.
the 3 Robin Williams girls are playing this season, and those
Mhm.
3 were tight all the way to the end. But Carrie, which I loved, was she would go to her confessional and say, "Hey, I have to get Amy and Megan on board to get Jeffy and Melissa on board and make sure they think it's their idea or they put it into play." And so she would go into that conversation and get them girls on board. Then they would join a call with Jeffy and Melissa, and they would make Jeffy and Melissa come up with a name when it was Carrie being the puppeteer the entire time. So I always thought that was very impressive with her. You know, what she set out in her confessional, she went out and did. She made it look like someone else made the decision when it was really her. So I had to add that. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm glad you added that because there has already been a confessional where rather than implanting seeds of that sort, more so, she is a very careful player. I can already tell with the way she speaks. She understands the consequences to her actions and how she talks and how other people talk. I'm mentioning this straight up from the confessional, how she described the conversation she had with Austin. So obviously she's on the Legends cast. I know this is obvious, but there is great potential for someone like me who hasn't seen Carrie up close. I probably had something else to say. I heard Corey had said in the very beginning that she had some minor mistakes. I'll give her a pass for it because it is within her name. That's about it.
Anyone else? She was also first boot in Cake Wars.
I don't know what that is.
That doesn't matter. That does not matter.
It's a TV show that's like on Food Network.
Okay.
Baking championship. So I always give her a hard time.
Okay. I think we'll move on then, but we're good to know genuinely. Next up, number 11, Christina.
Oh my gosh.
So she's already played 3 seasons, all the way from season 4. Had quite a span of a break from season 6 till 15, going into Blood vs. Water. She's had her famous idol and obviously the one immunity under her belt. That's the more famous one, I should say. And yeah, we can go ahead and start with Christina.
Yeah, I personally, me and Mariah personally played with Christina. I mean, at the very end, it was like she played idol and then went home. But that okay. Good for her. She is very social. She know what she want to do in the game. And I really hope that she do connect with the old soul and they do stuff with her. There are a lot of old soul people, so that possibility. I think she may go far, but this person probably about in the middle for me.
I agree. She's also in the middle for me. Yeah, oh yeah, we had some beef. We've had some beef, but I do blame it all on Corey for that. Um, but we've made up and we're good. Um, yeah, I think she's great. I don't know where exactly she will fit in this entirety of 26 people, but I also hope, because we do have a lot of OG 1 through 10 season players, I hope that they will link up together and really work together. That would be cool to see that. It's already cool to have a lot of people we haven't spoken to in a couple years, to have them back anyway. So I'm excited to see her play again. In season 15, she had Robin Wild with her. Loved her as well when she was here. And it'd be cool to see her without like that loved one again.
I have not personally played a season with her in Course Org. I played a sequester with her here. And I've played with her in other games. And she's very good at getting in the middle and pinning this person against this person and just sitting in the middle, just kind of stirring it, kind of stirring up that drama to keep the eyes off of her. She's really good at stirring drama between other people to keep herself in the background so she gets a little further. But I think sometimes it is found out that she's the one with the spoon, and so that's what bites her. So she can be a little more quiet about her moves, maybe, if she's trying to put people against each other. I've seen her make big moves. I've seen her just kind of go with the moves, and I've seen her be in the middle stirring it. So I'm anxious to see what kind of Christina we're going to have this season. If she's going to be loud and bold and going for it, or if she's going to be quiet, controlling of her actions and being more precise of when to make her moves.
Kind of see her as like that Black Widow, you know. Yeah. I can see that possibly happening. She might be quiet in the very beginning, but she's like still hanging around.
Yep.
I don't know. For some reason, I always think her as the Egg Queen,
But
and not
yes.
everyone know about that now, so that's not that as big a deal. But in season 6, it was a really big deal. We're gonna beat the Egg Queen, right? And we're like, yeah.
Christina is a very weird example for me. I will say, like, for the old school part, I remember when season 6 All Star rolled around, she was the person that I had thought in my head, this is the winner pick of my winner pick of season 6. It wasn't myself at all. But the one thing about her in recently, from orgs, when it comes to that, as well as the first season, honestly, is the burnout, where essentially in season 4 she basically volunteered to be eliminated, and I saw it one more time happen, uh, probably 2 years ago in all reality, or maybe a year and a half, where something similar happened, where she had quit it. So that is something where I am afraid of, in conjunction with what Miranda said about people realizing where who is dictating what. So my fear is, if her timing isn't right, and I think because there are so many rounds, I am afraid that she would do a move too early, and I don't see it working out for her, to be quite honest, which is a very harsh hot take that I don't think many people would have. In reality, if the game was more sped up, or if there and if there were less people, I would think way, way, way more highly of her chances of making it through. Um, I think she has I truly do think she is capable of having the patience, but at the same time, orgs cannot take up everyone's lives, and she is someone that obviously has other priorities for well and good reason. Um, and I am not sure if a 2 month org could work out for her, essentially, to be quite honest.
I really like Christina's chances just solely on
Hmm.
such big egos and personalities we have in this cast. She's not going to be the one that shines on the sheet of paper when you look at it. I hope she doesn't take on a big role or goes for any big moves early on. I think she just needs to set back, let everyone else take control, and then start taking over around merge time. Super smart. I love one move that she made was she was with Dan and she would get on call and hear about Jordan and their list and Dan's a threat, and she would kind of like you said with Bianca,
Hmm.
um, secret spy mode, and then would run to tell Dan, this is what they said in this chat. This is what they said in this chat. So if she can find her a Dan and a loyal ally, I think she can make a deep run as well. But yeah, I really like Christina's chances this season. I know you said it quite
Hmm.
opposite, but I could definitely see her
Yeah.
going out early, trying to go for a move or trying to do something big. So if she can just stay in the background for a little while, let all the big egos take each other out, and then start to dominate midway through, then she would have a chance.
Season 6, all things considered, as well, I'll add this. What I liked about season 6 basically had so much pre-gaming, and it felt like 3 extra months before the actual game. It was very obvious there were two particular sides, but Christina seemed to have been forming her own third faction, and it really felt like both sides needed Christina. And I can see the idea of something along those lines happening, but at the same time, back then in season 6, she had an army under her belt. Now it's just one lone player. Again, she need to build herself up back up again, which she is able to do because obviously she did it once before, maybe not twice. Um, so the potential is there, and if she has the energy, if she truly has, let's say, nothing going majorly going on, she can definitely strike through. I think she might be essentially the kind of player that she would do better in short-term games, not necessarily minis, even though as well, compared to extremely long games. Basically, to rephrase what I said, just in case.
Yeah. So yeah. And all in all, she can't put all her eggs in one basket. This
Wow. All eggs in one hand. Okay. I think we can move on unless someone had anything else.
Nope.
All right. Next up is Cody, which is our most recent reigning champion. Um, all things considered, obviously this is the notes I have that he made it to the end without needing to play his own idol and that he had 3 votes. I'm hoping I got it right that he had no immunities under his belt from the videos that I saw. But this is all the information I have about his season 19 game. Um, obviously there are people here that can speak highly more so than I can.
I don't have much on Cody. The little bit I know of Cody, I know he played with Miranda, so Miranda will have more to say about Cody in regards to playing with him rather than hosting him. But first off, he voted out Sandra. That's on his resume. That's one reason why he's here, other than being a winner. But he was super genuine, super nice, super friendly. I enjoyed watching him those 2 days. I think it's going to be 50-50 with him, as he's only played Corey's org 2 days. He's never played a long-term season. So he doesn't know what to expect. He doesn't know about Legends Lounge and claiming things and riddles. And I don't know how well his Survivor trivia knowledge is. So he's, I haven't seen him participate in a long-term game. So I don't know what to expect out of him. He can use that to his advantage and say, use me. I'm an extra vote. I'm a threat. I'm a former winner. I don't know anything about Corey's org or how it works. I've only played a 2-day season. Like, use me. as a vote. Show me your way. Like if he's gonna, I don't know if he will humble himself and just say, I don't know what to do. Like help me, or or if they'll just say you're a former winner, you got to get the hell out of here. Like I want a chance to win. So I'm 50-50 with him. He can definitely use that to his advantage, being a new school 2-day winner. But that's just my aspect. I don't know anything about Cody other than season 19. I've never seen them play any other game. So I know Miranda may have a little bit more intel since she went all the way to the end with him.
Yes, so I played season 19 with Cody, went all the way to the end. The three of us that made it to the end tied for votes on the first vote. And Cody ended up getting people to vote him to be the winner. And so I went from being tied for first to third place. But that speaks volumes going into that. After we had our vote and then we had our minutes to plead, he was able to do that and get the votes to himself. So he does have that in his favor that he can appeal to people. In that season, he was one of the bigger voices there. I felt like him and I and there's a few of us that we kind of had the same direction that we're going in the game. We kind of had the same people we wanted to take out to get to the end. But we didn't necessarily say we're going to the end together. I think he did say that with, I can't remember the other gal's name that went to the end with us. What was her name? Rose, yes. I think he had told her that he was going to the end with her. And so those two got to the end, and I guess I just kind of piggybacked with them. And he had a louder voice, and he didn't get his name wrote down that much. So I think he has a potential to go to merge. He did message me after we had the tribe chat set up, and he seen my name in there, and he's like, yes, we're in the same tribe. And I'm like, sorry, I'm actually hosting. And he's like, well, shoot, I wish you were playing. And I said that I was excited to see him play and I'd be cheering him on. And he said that he needs to prove why he's a winner, why he's a legend. And so I think he's going to do his best to prove his place here. And we'll see if he can get the ball rolling and get the momentum going on his side to make it to merge and to make it to the end.
I will say a lot of the cast have been wanting you to play Miranda. I think one person said, oh man, Miranda is on the hosting team. We posted that photo of all of us. They were really upset that you were on the hosting team.
Oh, I think it'd be fun to play, but I think it'd also be overwhelming because some players, when they play, they're able to separate. Like, I need to do life and then I need to play the game. And I have a hard time separating the two. I just want to play the game. I want to make the connections. I want to talk to everybody. And everybody in real life can just, no, I don't want to talk to you. And so I knew that with it being a bigger game and a lot of people that I would know from the past games, and I just knew that I wouldn't be able to separate the two. So I thought I'd sit back and watch and take it all in as everybody plays and be excited to watch everyone be back.
Yeah, I really hope Cody showed why he won season 19 and how he can talk to people and stuff. And that maybe he said, okay, I don't know a lot of people, so I can vote with you. And I'm not that big a target. But I do think if he talked to people and stuff, that he could go pretty far.
Cody, I did today was trying to gather the information, go really quickly on his fine tribal speech. To be quite honest, he gives golden retriever vibes, which I really think will work for him if he's here. There was in a confessional he sent for the season, he said something along the lines of, "Oh, I thought this was a short-term game, not a long-term one, but either way, I'll make it work." Which is kind of funny, extra funny given apparently he was playing an LRG the first weekend of it, so I don't know how long he thought the game was. That being said, I truly can't make any predictions about him. um, compared to others, but I really think that he will be, in inverted commas, the flaw of other people's plans. I just have this feeling that that people will, and that people could end up relying on him and not consi- not consider just that he would have his own game to play. And basically that people might underestimate him despite him being a winner. Um, that's just my feelings about it. There could definitely be a totally different take about Cody, as I truly don't know the guy at all. Okay. We can move on unless someone has anything else.
Nope.
Okay. Next up, we have Cyrus. Oh my gosh. Our two-timer, now three-timer Cyrus has always gotten a mid-term placement, but all there's no way that Cyrus never makes an impression on a season. That's the best way to say. Um, he's one of the more newer school players of Corey Zorg, and he's very excited to play Corey Zorg every single time. Um, there's just so much there's so much energy when it comes to Cyrus. That's the best way to summarize. But I'll leave it to Corey and the
I,
rest to fill in.
I won't speak much. I know we've been speaking over, so I won't say much. I love Cyrus, but I'm gonna keep it short so we don't have to be up here all night. But I like Cyrus. I think the few times he's played, he's been a little bit outspoken or ran and told the wrong people, and that really kind of, you know, bit him on the ass and got him in trouble and voted out. I mean, the Queen told him point blank, "Loose lips sink ships." And that's what got him voted out both times. So kind of like with Christina, if you can just hold back the reins, let everybody else aim their guns and shoot, just let everyone else take care of each other, and then start taking over when it comes to merge, I think he has a shot. But definitely another one of my wild cards is I'm not familiar with his gameplay. The little bit I have seen, he's been very vocal about things, which has gotten him in trouble both times. So if he can hold back and pull back the reins, I think he's definitely can make a run.
I love Cyrus. You will never be bored, ever. He's good TV. I do think he plays very well a couple of seasons in other orgs that I've seen. So I'm hoping he makes it a little bit further than just the middle. But yeah, he is a wild card. So, but I'm just happy he's here because it's Cyrus. That's all.
Both seasons that Cyrus has played, I've also played in those seasons. Lachusa forever. Lachusa forever. Oh, we are on a rough tribe. We survived many tribals. Um, with Cyrus, with playing with him, I love Cyrus. I just love him. But I could never quite tell where his head was, like who he was working with. He would one day say, "Let's work with this person. I really like this person," and then the next day we'd swap and we'd be with that person. He's like, "No, I really want to work with this person now. Let's work with this person." And it's like, well, we still have our three here that we are working with. And then he'd want to work with other people. And I think he just has a hard time, like Austin did in the early seasons, where he has all these friends and he doesn't know who to be loyal to. And he kind of gets torn that way. So I hope he's able to kind of find his spot and find a group to work with that can be a good alliance to him, and he feels comfortable with them, that he doesn't go seeking it in other places, and he can go far.
I've seen Cyrus play in other orgs, and I will say what Miranda said rings true, but there are so many different sides of Cyrus in all the good and all the bad ways, in the sense of I've seen different flaws that Cyrus has. The best way, the time that he had the best chance of winning was when he relied the most on other people to do his bidding in the pre-merge, just him being a supporter to whatever the cause is, and him need adding the least input possible. Because when he adds the input, he's more invested, and if things don't go his way, when he puts extra time and energy into them, he'll be more sensitive about it, I feel like. His essentially the best thing that can happen for Cyrus really is him becoming a vote needed for a faction, and that faction goes down and down where he'll make it to the end, which almost happened in a different org, and he would have had at the very least a great running chance of earning votes and possibly the win as well. But still, very, very entertaining person. His confessionals alone are legendary in themselves.
Well, I remember hosting him. Yeah, like Warren said, he like, I'm with these three people, and then like 2 days later, I'm like, I want to work with these two people, and I like, what about these three people? And he never actually go back and said what he would want to do with those three people.
Okay, I think we can move on. All right. Next up, Diane, another person that made it to the finals of different games. So this time, season 13. She made it to the end. I'm pretty confident she had the least amount of votes, and she had lost to Amy Zabel of all people in a 5-3 vote. So all things considered, still impressive to be a bit closer in the votes past. Not sure what you guys think about Diane.
I love Diane. Don't we say that about everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, she's. I mean, I think she's one of a few people that in every org you think of, everyone loves her. Everyone says that she's a queen. Everyone loves, loves to play with her, loves to host her. Um, Again, very under the radar, great loyal player. I think she's going to run to Amy Zabel as quick as she can. Super loyal is gonna, if she's with you, she's with you, and that can work for her or maybe work against her if she's too loyal to one person. They may weaken that person and take out Diane. So um, I know we just started this season and she's been a little inactive due to good reasons. So maybe she is an easy vote for first vote if she hasn't made those social connections already. But either way, I love her. I'm glad she said yes to coming back, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does this season.
I also think she may link up to Ashley as well because I think they played together in another org.
I think Amy and Diane play a very similar game with being the loyal. And once they say we're going to go to the end, they're going to go to the end with that person, and they'll tell each other everything and work really closely together. I'd like to see Diane be a little bit more of a bigger voice. I think she's a very good alliance member where when you guys need to vote somewhere, she's there to vote. But I'd like to kind of see her take more of a front position in like kind of dictating on where we need to go and saying what needs to happen. But I just don't know if that's her game. But it'd be interesting to see with all these legends coming out, with all these people that I'm sure she's seen in other orgs, played in other orgs with, to see where that alliance is going to end up and how loyal she's going to be in these alliances.
Yeah, I like Diana. Actually, Diana is my middle name. I never met a Diana before until her. And she's very loyal, and she will tell you what she would do, and she will do it. I hope she do go far. But she's still like in the middle. She have a potential to go pretty far, but who knows how she will play this game and what connection she have with other people, but with Amy.
Unfortunately, like for me with Diane, and this marks with Cyrus as well, I think she is someone that when she does well in orgs, it's usually there are, to be fair, this is an okay thing. There needs to be 2 or 3 easy votes at the start, and then she will definitely be picked up, scooped up, and will make it further. And people wouldn't shoot at her compared to other players. I am not sure if the season will have those easy votes that might be needed for her to gain that grasp, and I'm not sure if that's too much of a hot take or something in terms of if I'm missing something out of Diane's game. She is the how do you say? She's still very loyal. What she says is straight, and that is definitely something great to have in an ally. And you should try and get someone like Diane. I am just uncertain that if her name does pop up early on, I am not sure how much people will put their influence to save Diane in a tribe of 13 people compared to, let's say, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yes.
Okay. Either way, wish you the best, Diane. I'm going to move on because I think that's all our thoughts. Okay. Next up, we have Ed. So, Ed has had quite the run, all things considered, in a very short span of time. So, he's had 3 seasons, season 7, 9, and 10. Always placing high, 6th being his worst out of 3 seasons, which is insane, but okay.
Right.
He has his advantages and everything, but let's face it, he is mostly known for not being the best in puzzles, but also having this underdog kind of persona going into playing orcs for the first time for super early on and just making quite a splash in Corey's in general. And again, only in a short span of seasons. Like all things considered, it's just a blip in the whole timeline.
Yeah,
I
I
put
played
in
with
Go ahead.
I played with Ed in season 10, and he was not happy that I was trying to change something in the game, and we just went our separate ways that way. And then he like, oh, your game. I'm okay. And I like, thanks, Ed. He was always loyal to me and everything. And then we got out somebody because of his idol. And I thought, like, that was Ed. So I really hope Ed goes far in this game.
Oh, Ed. I love Ed.
That's just gonna be your opening statement for
To everyone.
everybody. Oh, I love this
I
person.
love Ed. I think he's amazing. Just not basically just Corey's work, but just in general. I've had an opportunity of meeting him several times, but I don't know if he can do any better than what he's done right here with this high caliber of cast. I think there's a lot of people that have played with Ed outside of Corey's org that Ed has done dirty. And I think they have remembered that. And I think he's going to be one of those big time players that leaves early, maybe like a Suri in Heroes versus Villains. I hope I'm wrong. I really want him to stay around at least till merge. But he's a super, super social dude. He's not the big like super names or winners, but he's still a very big social threat. And unfortunately, I think he's going to be one of the ones that gets cut early. And again, I hope he proves me wrong and gets to the end finally. But I think he's going to be one of the ones that we're going to be so disappointed and heartbroken when he gets taken out, just solely being a huge threat that he is. And I can see someone like Bobby, who's a big threat, putting the target on someone like Ed to try to get rid of him. So that's my hot take on Ed.
I think he won. Oh, sorry.
Go
I
ahead,
think,
Rachel.
think he wanted to play in the middle of the game.
I've played with Ed in the past, and I think he has that same difficulty of figuring out who he needs to be loyal to. And so he kind of plays with this group, and then he's with this group, and he's with this group. And then when it comes time to have to pick a group, he has no problem picking a group and cutting you if he needs to. Once he decides his path, he sticks to it. He's okay with it. And if it gets him far in the game, he's happy about that decision. If it doesn't, he's like, okay, well, I know better for next time. Like he's not a bitter player. He just takes the game as it is. And I like to see that in players. So I'm excited to see where his path kind of goes this season, and can't wait till he's ready to cut people because he's not afraid to do it.
I think we have had quite the narrative out of Ed in terms of like he was definitely the hero of season 7, and if you heard that in other orgs, people would be like, "Wait, what?" He has evolved. Obviously, he is a very complex character. I can see him, just what Miranda said. He plays the game. He could lean into the villain side. Definitely has in the past. And to what Corey said, I get you in terms of the. To me, it's Ed. I'll find it very hard to see Ed impress me extra so, not because he is older or something, or that he has people against him or something. The reason why it will be harder for him to impress me is because he was so impressive. He set the bar way too high in his last seasons. Especially, I'm not gonna lie, season 10 was really up there for me, and not that 7 and 9 were not. Just the idle play alone, the timings of him flipping, the amount of time that he puts in the social game truly is underrated. I remember I used to have in season 10 30-minute EST morning calls with him whilst he's on the way to work, and including the time where he was planning to take me out at Final Line. And obviously that's very self-centered of me to consider, but still, he definitely put in a high regard, which my problem is trying to figure out how he can even equalize it at best, given the cast. I am not afraid of him being in a legendary cast, honestly. Like, I think that's fine. It's more so just the idea that he's had 3 impressive runs. Like, can he do a 4th one again? Is just questionable in itself to be able to do it 4 times in a row. Just it's hard to see. That's really the thing for me. He probably has flaws that I'm just not mentioning right now on the top of my head. But all things considered, I just don't know how he will position himself in as much. But like, it's obvious and no one denies it. No matter what happens, he still will be a legend of the Sorg.
I put in my notes, bring on the margaritas, bring the party to these places. I hope he makes it to the final 4 and dominates that puzzle and the levels of doom or whatever we decide to do this season. But I hope he really does make it at least to final 3. I really hope so. I don't think he's going to be an early boot. I'm thinking he's definitely going to be in the middle and hopefully make it deeper too. But Ed is just like a big teddy bear. I think if he's ever made a villain move, it hurt him just as much, if not worse, on him. He felt bad doing anything villainous. So, love him. Can't wait to watch him play.
Just looking at his resume right here, it's puzzling.
Okay, I'm going.
But I do hope he'd go with Matt and work with him.
I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Okay, I'm
Who's
going to move on to next. So next up is Jake. He's played 1 time in season 11. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, we thought you had your hand up.
No. Don't worry.
Hand was
He's
just
played-
here. I don't know much about Jake.
Uh-huh. So he's played one time in season 11. He had went out in the final eight actually, but because of the Edge of Extinction twist, two people came back in, and so he's relegated back to 10 on 16. Um, there isn't much on the basic stats that um, help describe Jake, but we'll get into it, I'm sure, in the next couple of comments. So if anyone wants to start it up, feel free.
Jake is one of the. Sorry, Miranda. I saw you unmute. Jake is one of the wild cards again, along with Cameron, um, and Cyrus. Like I don't know much about them when it comes to playing orgs. So I really don't know what to expect from Jake. He was one of the earlier boots in his season. I saw tons of potential in Jake, based on his confessionals and the little bit that he did get to accomplish in season 11. So definitely a wild card, kind of a a Sarah Lucina or a Sierra Dawn Thomas. Like what are they doing here? But they ended up being pretty impressive. So I'm going to put him in the same boat as Christina and somebody else I put in. I think Cameron, just to lay low at the beginning. And I think they have a possibility. If some of these people that are in such tight friendships, like grab along some of these newbies or these people that haven't played in a while or they haven't played as often, I think possibly Jake can link along with them and go far in this game. Go ahead, Miranda.
I could see Jake and Ashley working very tightly together just because they know each other in real life. I could see them working together, and I don't know how to say this. I think Ashley will use Jake to get her far, but if it comes down to having to take out Jake because he's not as well known as some of these other ones, and she has to try and go against these bigger voices for Jake or somebody else, she might have to let go of Jake. But I hope that Jake makes enough other connections to get himself further in the game. I think he's definitely capable of it. He's very charismatic, and he likes to talk and talk with people and strategize with people. So if he can do that with the right people to make himself to merge, he might be able to establish himself to get further. But it might be kind of hard work to get to merge if he doesn't get some more people to work with him that way.
Yeah, I don't think he's very known in the Corey org.
So worth noting with Jake, I know he started off in Skype communities and then he went to Facebook. Not too long after, I know that's SBJ then turned into LCA, but he had a season under his belt. And then he dropped off orgs for, I don't know, 2 years. I think this is the first time he's back, honestly. And he only got Facebook a few months or weeks back, so I know he hasn't socialized with that many people of Corey's org as of recently. But that's just some background to just describe the idea that he probably isn't someone that actively talks to people, which is either against him or gives him the opportunities that nothing will stop him or restrain him. The problem that he had, the great thing about him that he had in season 11 is that he is very camp. It's very obvious in his personality, and he just loves to talk with people, loves to get to know people, different cultures. That's all genuinely great. Then the issue is, I feel like we've seen it in season 11, and we might see it here, where he ends up aligning with multiple players, some of which are super, super high on trust, and then he will leave some actions to himself, tries to play a bit more selfishly to gain power for himself too early on, and might, what's it called, be ahead of himself when it comes to the position he is and everything. I remember in the final eight, he sent a confessional about how sure he was the game is done, and he has the positions of the 8-person 7-6-5-4 3-2-1 for himself, and then he got voted out that very same day or day after, but that's that round. So obviously it's the awareness factor that I am unsure of. I'm hoping the time passed helps Jake out, where uh, any sort of more aggressive plays, he's got it out of out of the way. But I do think, first impressions wise, he should have more opportunity compared to others to be able to connect and gain allies, and I hope he'll use that skill and quality he has to his benefit to go further on. Um, he, that basically describes Jake for me. Okay, I think we can move on. Next up, we have Kayla, which I think this is a record broken in terms of the person who has last played since season 6. This is 14 seasons ago. She had a powerful run back in season 5 and was cut short in season 6. She's had obviously the votes and as well some advantages that you are seeing outlined. Obviously, these are from season 5, which is quite a huge number for the sake of season 5 was on the lighter side of advantages compared to certain others. I was surprised to see she never won immunities, but clearly she didn't need it except for the Final Four one. But yes, that's how we will introduce her right now.
Yeah, I love her. She was my second person, besides Stacy. We worked pretty closely. We talked about how to get rid of stuff, and she like, I can pull this person in, I can pull this person in. And then season 6 happened, and I think what happened was she was in line with me and Stacy again, and they're like, nope, we don't need that. So I don't see that season 6 vote out was her fault. It was just who she was aligned with, or who
It was
they thought she
Christina's
was
fault.
aligned with. Yeah. But I really do hope she go far, and if she get aligned with people, she will, and she also will. So maybe they will get her in with the Austin, Nick, LJ Lions.
When Kayla played before, she didn't have babies, so now she's got 2 kiddos. So I'm going to be interested to see how that affects her gameplay. I know I've always played with kids. I've always had kids playing, and so again, sometimes that's an advantage. Like if there's a scavenger hunt, you have all kinds of crap in your house from kids, so it might be to her advantage for some of these things. I'm excited. Like I want to watch her play and see how she balances like life and kids and playing a game. I have to see if I could take any notes for future games if that ever happens. But I'm anxious to see Mama Kayla play. It should be lots of fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what I put in my notes as well. I'm interested. She might be a little rusty in the beginning because it's been 5 years. But yeah, she's a mom. So a lot of her in life mindset has changed since then. And so I'm really excited to see her, see how she does. I'm biased because I love her. She's my older org sister and I just love her.
Agreed.
I hate Kayla. I'm just kidding. I think it's going to be because she hasn't played since season 6. I mean, Corey's org has evolved to something totally different now. So, can she keep up with that? Will she be able to adapt to this kind of gameplay? I mean, back then we played like nonstop, so this is going to be a little bit different for her. She is occupied with personal life. Like, will she have time to commit to build these relationships and to make it far in this game? So, another, I keep saying this, but another wild card for me because I really don't know what to expect from her. She was super, super great in season 5. I was super impressed and glad she came back. So I'm looking forward to seeing if she can build those bonds and be on those hour-long calls that she was on in season 6. Because I do think she could do some damage if she aligns with the right people. Again, an OG Corey's Org alliance would be amazing if she can attach to someone like Austin and Nick and kind of use them as shields to make it deep.
I also
Oh,
am.
oh, sorry.
Go
I
ahead. Go
wonder
ahead.
if she would ever work with Christina because of what Christina did to her. That would be my question.
I can see Kayla working with Christina, just because it's been so long and now they have that bond of being a mother.
Mhm.
So
I think she can forgive, but she won't forget.
now that's a fact.
I also am a huge fan of Kayla. Obviously, the kind of spark that she gives out in the community, even though it's been a while she's played, she has said, I was surprised she even said yes, but she has said that she initially said no, but the timing actually worked out better. I'm not sure if it's something like remote working exists or something along those lines, but all things considered, I think she'll adapt very well. Like, the older seasons, especially season 3 till season 10 or 11, they were a lot, in my opinion, they were a lot more uh, demanding of time compared to newer seasons, because obviously COVID versus post COVID. So I really think the transition will be easy on the parts of the riddles and whatnot. Obviously, the issue is the 25 other players that exist in the cast and it being one world. That is the question. But I still think that she can connect with people. Um, and there's something to the idea of people that have taken the breaks versus people that are more stale when they play too many games at once and they don't have life. I think Kayla has a lot of life stories or just the way she talks of different things and whatever else um, that will just be very engaging. I really think that she will, for sure. I cannot see it being that she needs an easy vote for her to make it further. Like the only thing is truly a swap screw, but I truly think that merge is pretty guaranteed for her, honestly, in my head. Now, I don't know about her making it all the way to the end. There's a lot more to it than that, but I really think that she knows how to wheel and deal in that sort of regard. Um, Aside from that, then my concern is kind of if given the other A-type personalities in the cast, I don't see Kayla as being having too big of an ego or something, but maybe some people will see her eventually having too big of a presence for them where they just need to take her out. But for now, I don't see it in the pre-merge.
Yeah, she does work from home.
Okay, I think that's it. We have opinions on Kayla, and someone else said something. All right. So next up, we have LJ. Um, Corey hates this guy. Okay. I'll leave it to Corey to explain why LJ is a legend for Corey's work, but I'll leave it. Corey, let you do the whole introduction for LJ because I think it's more worth it for it to come from you than wherever
It
I
was a
could.
nice stormy night. What season was it?
Season 4.
Season 4. A late stormy night in season 4. I'm just kidding. um, I love LJ. LJ. LJ frustrates me in Corey's org. I think we spoke about this off camera earlier. Like LJ is a huge orger and very good orger. He hasn't had the best experience in Corey's org when it comes to playing. I was actually very, very impressed in 12. I believe your last season, Mariah. He was very social. He was getting on calls. He was strategizing. Like that was his best Corey Zorg season. I was super, super impressed with him. He does have a good shot at being the Francesca of the org. If he is not as active as he should be early on, these are 26 legends or 25 legends he's going against. So if he slacks off just a little bit because of work and he's not on top of it, they're going to use that as an excuse to get rid of him early. I think the same thing you said about Diane, Gabe.
Hmm.
If he can surpass those 2, 3, 4 tribals, I think he's good. If he can stay active and talk and get to know people and build those bonds early on, that's gonna save LJ long term in this game. If he's gonna go to work or go to bed early or and do stuff that's not Corey Zorg related and stay in chats or alliance chats, I think he can go early. But those first 3 or 4 tribals is really key for LJ. I'm going to keep saying an old school Corey Zorg if they can get that going. I think that will save him as well. So uh, everybody knows I love LJ, so I really, really, really hope at least he makes the merge in the jury. But um, yeah, I think those first 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 tribals are going to be really, really key for LJ.
And we're not doing a battle back. So once he's
Well,
out, he's
we
out.
got that one little twist that possibly could.
If he can make it up to there, yeah. That's the one thing that LJ and a lot of other orgs too is that if there's a battle back, he's coming. He's coming.
Uh-huh.
He does really well.
Really
in,
quick, since Mara
comebacks.
mentioned it, for comeback wise, LJ has been back obviously in season 4, but also season 12 was a redemption island, and he did win himself back into the game. I'll- so he is the only person that I can recall that has had some sort of battle back option that he won back twice. There could have been another person that I'm forgetting.
Did Tristan do it?
Uh, yeah,
Beck?
no, it was Dinara. So actually, since you mentioned it, Dinara, I think, did it twice as well.
Mm-hmm.
12 and 11. Yeah.
Yeah, what I
Really
think of
legend.
LJ when I was watching is revenge is sweet, baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the motto now. And when I wasn't part of this org, I remember watching him and I was already rooting for him. He was a good player. And I really hope he'd go far in this game. But he's also in the middle too, I think.
I agree with everything everybody has said. If he comes to play, he's going to play and he'll go far. If he is not as active, he's not going to make it. But I love me some LJ. I could listen to him talk all day.
Uh-huh.
Just love him.
Just think if they get to tribal and he takes Ben out after what Ben did to him in
Mm-hmm.
12. Just think of the speech we'll have.
Yeah.
I think
Let's all
the only thing worth now he does better in messenger orgs worth noting. So like I don't want to make it sound like he can't handle himself or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I truly think all he needs to do is be a number for people early on
Yeah.
and ride that wave. Like, I don't think he needs to make any sort of splashes, and it would work out for him very well. Like, he has a very good knack when he doesn't get in people's ways, I feel like. We can move on now,
Wow.
unless someone else has anything to say.
No.
Okay. Okay, next up is Matt. So, similar to Ed, this is why probably Rachel mentioned it. Matt also has a very blip in the Core York timeline because he played 8, 9, and 10. All had at least good placements,
Crazy.
mid-size in the season 9, but the rest 5th and 7th. Matt is, I'm honestly surprised he only has one immunity on his belt, but which was actually in season 10. But is also known for the steal vote advantage that he used back in the Trenton vote out, I believe, of season 8. But obviously, Matt has a lot more to his game and his socialness, and we'll get to it soon. So feel free, someone jump in.
Well, I also played with Matt in season 10 with Ed. We were all playing like in the middle, and I think he will be playing in the middle this game. I mean, they don't think he a real threat level, and he not really like an underdog, but I do hope he do well and maybe get more active sometime, telling people what to do and stuff. Because I never thought he would tell me what to do and who I should vote. He just followed the leader. Maybe he should not do that, but it worked for him. So
I don't get that.
I
And I've
agree.
only played with him once. I think he's very loyal. He likes to keep the peace. He doesn't like to try to stir the pot in any way. He's really good about compromising. He wants to hear everyone out and, okay, you think we should vote this one, and he'll like give his opinion, but he's not going to force it on you. Yeah, he just likes to be with the team and keep the peace. I don't think he's a follower. Do I think he's this big, strong leader? No, but
I think he's pretty strategic personally from hearing him at different like reunions and hearing things at different like when we had meetups in person and stuff. Like he's like, well, if this would have happened at this tribal, then this could have happened, and then this could have happened. So like he kind of replays it and thinks about all the possibilities.
I think he's still replaying season 8 right now.
I'm pretty sure.
yes.
Yeah.
For season 9, when he had the placement of 14, had we paused night 1 before that tribal, he could have gone deep on the second day, because the second day was when things really kind of flipped and the scripts got turned. Like the ones that were leading the game were getting taken out, and he was kind of in the middle. He was an easy one to compromise with those that were leading the game to take out because he was in the middle. But had we paused one tribal before his was the last tribal of the night, had we paused before that, he might have made it deeper into that game.
He reminded me that after night 1.
That's another
Not
great
happy.
thing that he does, is that he reminds you. He replays it and then reminds, hey, remember that really bad move that you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
He will remind you.
As soon as I clicked off live, I got a phone call. I was like, hello. He was like, damn you, Corey. If you would have ended it one tribal before, I would have been golden. Sorry.
Oh,
He was not happy.
Oh my gosh. Matt and Corey's work for me is he's so into it. It's insane. I'm going to preface this in case people that have played with Matt in other games, he might be known to be lesser active in some other orgs, but trust me, when it comes to animation or Corey's org, even more so, like he goes out and beyond. Like he is obsessed to try and beat his placements and do the best of job he can. And like Mariah mentioned, the art of compromise that he has, and to explore all the different options, keep up with all social bonds possible, is both impressive, and he ticks those boxes amazingly well. I recall in season 10 particularly, people marked him as the leader of the minority, and yet he had separate deals with so many people on the majority to keep him safe and pass it through. And truly, it really came down to advantage plays in Final 7 for him to at least make one more round, but I do think it would have been set in stone, unless an immunity comes to mind, that he would have been in the Final 4 position. Again, if there was that idol at Final 7 in his favor. Um, aside from that, uh, aside from that, just everything that's been mentioned. If Matt has the time, I mentioned the time wise because Becky is moving into his place. As long as he has the time set for people to get to know him, even more so, that is just stardust in terms of it would be so valuable and people will only think better and better of him and would want to keep him around. So I do think that he has good potential to get through the game with so many different methods. He can be the leader, he can be a supporter, he can be totally under the radar. I truly think he is versatile enough to do all those things.
I agree.
Mhm.
I love Matt. No,
Mhm.
I think Matt is going to go super deep in this game. I don't think he has a huge ego or is very controlling or thinks very highly of himself. But I think one of y'all already said it. Like he had all these personal deals with people and connections with people, and I think Becky dropping out last minute is going to be his saving grace.
Yeah.
I
It
think
will help.
that automatically puts a target on you. With like Bobby and Carrie, everybody's already talking about that on day one. He doesn't have that one person to rely on. I think he does have the OG game changers. They will be a thing for a while until they explode at some point around merge.
Or
uh,
earlier.
yeah, right. But he's super, super smart. He's very strategic. He knows what he's talking about. He's very well connected in the York community, whether it's through Corey's Org, Premier. Like everyone seems to really like him. I enjoy his confessionals. Like he thinks things through every little bit. Well, maybe if I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do this. I've seen him here in person. Well, season 8, I should have done this and this. He's the one person that's probably on Corey's Org right now watching lives of season 8, seeing it differently. But yes, again, he's not one of the big time winners or the big egos that we talk about all the time, where you see people like a Keanu and a Bo and a Gabe that's always on like the top 5 list. So I don't think people coming in are saying, watch out for Matt. So as you said, Gabe, as long as he dedicates some time to building those social connections early, he's going to do very well. And I'm going to go on record to say the winner of season 20, Corey's Org Legends, will be Matt.
Okay.
That's a fair.
He was
Except it's going to be Brandon.
He was my all-star number 1 pick, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Brandon because that's my all-star
Well, that's
pick.
cool too. I like that.
And then
Sorry, go ahead. I'm going to move on unless someone else has anything to say.
Nope.
Good.
Cool. Going ahead. Next up, we have Megan. Megan is our one-time winner, but obviously a one and done. Season 16, so even more of new school vibes here. Has a knack of advantages, despite Carrie also being in that season, and just has at least a very well-rounded game. But obviously, we'll get through that fairly soon. So I'm not sure if you have any thoughts about it, Corey, for starters.
Yeah, I think with Matt, right along with Matt, she's very well liked throughout the Org community. I mean, anytime you bring up Megan, everyone's like, "Oh my god, I love Megan. Megan is the best." And even in like people's like preseason talking, like they talked about John and they talked about Megan. I think they're like the Org's favorite it couple. But she played a very low key game in Robin Williams, and it worked for her. Like I'm not hating on that at all, but she was very distant the first part of the game. She would show up after challenges or after tribal. Hey, what happened? What's going on? But the one thing with Megan, she made sure she said good morning, hello. She checked up on you. She talked to you daily. She built those social connections, which got her the win at the end. Like she truly cared about people and talked to people. That's what honestly, I think got her the win at the end is because she built those social connections. And then, of course, with Carrie, with all the advantages people did not like. So I think that's what Megan benefited from. But she is very well connected. Looking at this cast, with she does have Amy and Carrie, and then alongside Bobby, and then she's connected with Austin. So she's really well connected in regards to some old school choreographers that's played with possibly her husband, and then newer school since she's with Robin Williams. So, and necessarily they're not going to look at her and say she's a winner. She has to get out. So I like her chances in this type of season. I think it's going to benefit her as well to be one world. I see tons of potential in people that she can link up with. I can see her linking up with Amy Zabel. I can see her linking up with Austin and then all her Robin Williams crew, Ashley. So there's tons of potential there for Megan. I think she should use the same strategy. Lay low, be a little bit social, talk to everyone, don't make no big moves, stay out of it, and be social, build those bonds. Don't have any blood on the floor, and don't have to worry about cleaning it up later on. And it wins her the game. She showed that in Robin Williams. So I really like her chances as well. If she starts to make big moves early on, I think that points a picture at her. But right now, everyone loves Megan. Everyone wants to work with Megan, which could be a bad and good thing. But I do like Megan's chances of making the merge.
I agree about Megan should use the same formula, and I do think she's a really good player. And also, if someone isn't in her alliance, I do think she would reach out and just talk to them, socialize. Certain people don't do that kind of thing.
Yes.
My issue or concern, ironically, is what I feared for someone like Austin in previous games. I think there are too many people that she is connected with that will expect her to be on their side. And it comes to a point of if inventing here, if Carrie and Amy Zabel go against each other, she's going to have to choose, and one person might not feel, might not, what's it called? Feel for Megan inverted commas in the sense of will expect things more than the game itself. So that's my concern about it. Not that Megan will have done something particularly wrong, but rather she'll be put into a position that other players in the season won't find themselves in earlier in this game. But I could totally be wrong.
I would agree with all of that. I think Megan definitely has potential to go deep in this game. She just has to make sure she makes the right moves at the right time in that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a move, just to be on the right side of things and to be with the right people.
Yeah. Chompy for first boot.
No.
They had to split them up.
Chompy can be 12th.
Okay, that's what I remember when you said Megan. I'm like, Chompy!
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Don't worry.
messed up.
Intermission. Go get your popcorn.
6 more. Let's go. Who's
I-
next?
We will be doing tea in a minute. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm trying to think. Oh.
I'm trying to load up one more thing, just because there was an issue with one of the slides.
4, 5.
Technical difficulties.
Let's see if we can make it through.
Oh, 6.
Twenty-two. Did anyone else have anything to say about Megan's?
Nope.
Okay, hoping this works. Okay.
Oh,
There was an issue.
1, 2,
There
3, 4.
7. There was an issue with the next slide, so I had to reload it, and it's here. Good. So yes, Nick has an huge array of seasons under his belt. the irony is, so he reached 7 seasons, which is the most of the whole org, and he hasn't played 10 seasons at the same time. So it's something that I don't think most orgers would find. And you can see, all things considered, him always getting top 10 it for 7 seasons is still impressive. That's basically single digits for 7 times, which is insane. Unremarkably, in the sense, unsurprisingly, I should say, he has 10 immunities under his belt, given partially him being a chance beast and partially for all the times he's played. And with that comes also 81 votes, which is an insane number, even for 7 seasons, and just the few advantages he gets, which is roughly one every 2 seasons or so. But um, Nick is just such a staple in this game. I cannot imagine Legends see just a season with regards to any kind of representation. Nick is essentially like the Johnny Bananas of Corey's work, just that you expect to see him here. I'm
I
sure.
agree.
Yeah, like feel free to add in your thoughts about Nick right now for sure.
All right. Well, when it comes to legends, you have to think of Nick Whitney. No, of course. I mean, look at the 7 seasons played. I think that is a record. 10
Mhm.
immunities, 81 votes cast against him. The one downfall I have with Nick is I think he likes to link up with people he knows
Mhm.
rather than go outside the box and go to these new people. So my big thing for Nick is I want him to go to these people like Cody, or Jake, or Paul, or some of these newer people, Brandon. Um, Based on what I've seen in the past, maybe like season 7, people said, "Hey man, you never talked to me, you never socialized with me. You went to your friends and you hung out with them, and you kind of left us out to dry. And now you're asking me to vote for you. Like I don't know you. You never talked to me." So if Nick extends that open hand and speaks with these people and communicates with these people, and not just go sit at the table with the people he's familiar with, which I get it's easy to do in these games, is when you start you land on the island, you're gonna be like, oh my god, Mariah, Gabe, Miranda, Rachel, I love you. But there's other people playing too, and he has to remember that, and he has to socialize with them, even if he doesn't even want to work with them. They're going to end up in the jury. You're going to end up in the final 3. You're going to have to connect with them at some point. So I hope he does that this season. One of the smartest to ever play this game. One of the best to ever play this game. I mean, it's super impressive. I mean, he's right up there with Austin and Gabe when it comes to playing this game. I don't know how they do it. They get people on their side. They win immunities. They go to the Legends Lounge. That's going to be new for him as well. I'm excited to see him in the Legends Lounge. He's so used to the grids and then confessionals. So I don't know how well he would do, but he's very knowledgeable when it comes to Corey's org. So he's going to know things and pick things out. Like he's going to probably know what Gabe does. He's going to maybe know what Mariah does. He's going to maybe know what Miranda does. So he's going to be very knowledgeable when it comes to that. I know with his tribe looking at it, I'm not sure where he fits. But I think Nick is going to go on a deep run, and I did pick him on my fantasy team. I think it help him if Austin and some of the other bigger egos go, or he uses them as shields, but he doesn't need to tag team with Austin long term. Temporarily, sure, but he needs to let loose of those old bonds and gain new bonds. I think that's going to help benefit Nick at when it comes to the long run of his game.
And he very knowledgeable of a U.S. Survivor, and yeah, he talked to you, and you like, yep, you need to stay.
Rachel,
And
you should know.
I know.
I think it's definitely to his benefit that he hasn't played in 10 seasons. So some of the newer people might not recognize him, might not know his history, might not know that he's played so many times. So that could be in his benefit.
Yeah, similar to an Austin, like he hasn't been around a lot. Like he kept coming back and back and back. They knew exactly what his gameplay was. They knew exactly what he was going to do, who he's going to be with, and it was easy. But yeah, that definitely I could see that as well. There's so many. There's 25 other people can choose from. So yeah.
For what you had said with regards to N- Nick's activity levels and Nick usually relying on friends, generally both true. When it comes though for Bangus to Buck, I would in terms of like how if as efficient as possible to put time into a game but also still have the most winning chance. I will say take out it if you see every single digit option there is, he always was uh winning a winner contender. And that doesn't mean season 9 he sucked or something along those lines. More so like there's 9 other people, so it's hard to pinpoint. But when there's the season 2, season 3, season 7, like he would in season 10, he definitely at that point in those rounds was top 3 most likely to win in if or if not top 2. Um in terms of depending on the final tree it ends up in. So all things considered, it really depends. I do think, unlike what I said about Kayla, I think the advantage system will be against him this time round, in the sense of I think he like I think structured un I think structured advantage systems that need more effort benefit Nick more than more random chaos in the moment active live for him. Um, but I'm hoping, ironically, that the advantage system he'll have to adapt to the advantage system, and thus that will reflect his gameplay as well as socializing. Something pops up in main, and he'll have to maybe he'll ask someone, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" and sparks a conversation ongoing. That could generally help him out. Uh, but that being said, as well, he had a lesser active weekend or first 2 days, but all things considered, he still scooped in, despite I genuinely think only Austin particularly knows him extra well.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say I was more afraid of his chances, but right now I'm not as worried, honestly. So it helps me out. And Nick is someone that um kind of like Corey said, I don't know how he has managed to do all these times, play all these times, and make it top 10 every single time.
Mm-hmm. I will say something that doesn't show up on a resume or something that you would show right here.
Hmm.
And it may be something that some hosts don't care about, but it's something that I really care about is every single time he's played, he's been so super passionate, super
Hmm.
into it, giving it his all, whether it's his confessionals and like everything, he's always 100% committed to the game. And that's something I've always respected about Nick. So I
Uh,
really, really hope he does well this season.
Let it be known for sure if I ever, in case my previous answers, I said something like he would be inactive or lesser active. It definitely is not his full-blown game. It's definitely something like uh, with a specific individual relationship. When it comes to confessionals or the advantage system challenges, he will put his mind totally on it,
Mm,
similar to us, how we described us and things like that.
sure.
Especially endurance type
Mhm.
challenges.
I think honestly, like he's good at endurance, really good. His neck is one of those. I wouldn't say brain teasers, but the kinds of challenges of okay, how best to make more efficient kind of
Mhm.
challenges that I had described with Austin. Like if there's another loophole or things like that, like Nick is your guy. Like I know Austin and Nick shared quite well, and it's kind of ironic since it's easy to group them together because of it. I'm not sure if someone else has any other opinions about Nick.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Next.
All
Be
right.
back.
Next up, we have
Put your
Paul.
shirt back on.
Paul is a one-time player from season 11, was definitely the head of his side, and is known for playing the first for sure, and I think the only super idol in Core's horror history. I
Oh,
could be wrong. Who else then?
he played Ghost Island.
Wait,
He got the super idol.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Created the whole "This is
First,
rigged."
not the.
first. You're right. But it is the first.
Listen, that was 20 years ago. We don't remember that.
Oh boy, that's funny.
Wait, okay. Can you
Shout out to
explain
Bo
this
and
one?
Amanda.
Yeah, we have that tape somewhere, right?
Oh my gosh, you're totally right
Isn't
about
that
season
recorded
3.
somewhere?
Yes.
I am sorry, Bo.
I was like, wait a minute.
Another iconic
You know, okay.
rival duo.
Here's why I think Bo had a super idol and an idol he could use, and he would have likely used the idol if he didn't have a super idol. Whereas Paul was forced to do it and didn't know it was happening. Maybe
Mhm.
that's why it popped in my head.
Yeah.
Or I just didn't look at season 3 well enough when redoing this. You're totally right. Sorry, Paul, you're second. Moving on.
Me and
Next.
Mariah were
Okay,
like, what?
let's go back. um, so Paul had 3 immunities under his belt, which is really impressive for one season as well. Aside from that, like just being a character, definitely DVD cover worthy, and obviously that's why he's here in Legends. But I'm sure the other mods have more to say about Paul.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I remember seeing it, and I thought if he got to the end, he would definitely win that season, and that's why I think he would taken out because he was so low. I mean, sociable and likable, and people like to work with him.
I didn't watch Ghost Island, so I don't know his gameplay in that season. But I did play with him in another org, and he's a challenge beast for sure. He's another really big like endurance challenge beast where he puts everything into it and puts 100%. And he's also another big comeback player as well in Redemption Island type games. So I'm excited to host him.
Yeah, I'm really interested to seeing how. I mean, Paul hasn't played in a while either, correct? Like orgs in general.
No, he had won 2 orgs in a row, and which to be fair, I don't believe were survivor based, but I could be wrong.
Mhm.
One of them definitely wasn't.
Don't remember, but it's been a while since he's been in any of
Pods.
the community.
Yeah.
One game and then pods, and then he's paused for 2, maybe 3 years. I'll say 2.5. And now he's back for Legends specifically.
Who went home in his super idol play? Do you remember?
I believe Tristan Beck,
Okay.
but I'll double check.
Yes,
I'm pretty confident it
that's
was like a
correct.
5-1 vote though.
That's correct. Yes, I remember that. now that you
With
say
him getting 1 vote.
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see Paul back. A lot of
Yep.
Ghost Island people that played once, like Jake, I've been wanting to come back for a while.
Mhm.
So he's someone that I have reached out to. So I think being away from the org community is going to definitely benefit him in the long run.
Mhm.
I don't know how he's going to be with Legends Lounge or how good he is when it comes to Survivor trivia or riddles or how quick he can take a picture with a teddy bear or whatever it may be. But I don't have much to say about Paul. I'm really, really hoping he sticks around for a while and gets his feet in the sand and makes a deep run in this thing. So definitely legendary with one of the 2 super idol plays in org history. And again, like you said, very impressive with 3 immunity. So I could definitely see him being a big immunity beast come merge if he can make it that far.
With Paul, it's interesting for me in the sense of one thing about it, like other players have mentioned this, I can see it as well. People describe him as cocky. I see him being faction based and sticking to his side, being the leader of his side, and still having deals with other people on the other side on how he can proceed. All things considered, I do think he has a modified version of Ben's game, to be quite honest. and that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. It is a different style. Um, I I am genuinely curious since I mentioned it, kind of how will exactly Paul and Ben end up interacting together. And it's two people that, as far as I know, have never played before together, but it is dynamic. I'm curious how Paul will be with more A-type people, despite him being on a season with Amy Zabel and Dan. So all things considered, he had quite a competitive cast his season. So he's definitely very well credited, unlike certain other people who might have had easier paths to the end. So definitely impressive. I'm going to move on unless someone has any other comments to say about Paul.
Let's go.
Cool.
Let's go.
Next up is Shelly. Shelly has played one time, which was in Stater Island. I honestly thought she was snubbed just right at the end from a final three to a final two, but it's actually fourth place. She had two immunities under her belt, and obviously, what's well known about her is that she's Australian and has um, great set of social skills under her belt. But obviously, for the choreo orchestra, I'll leave it to you guys to fill in the more information about her game in season 13.
Oh, Shelley. I actually played Double Trouble,
Hmm.
and she was the host, in which I didn't think she was the host. And I started asking her about her day, getting to know her. And then she was like, Corey, I'm not playing. I'm one of the hosts. I was like, oh, my bad. But I like Shelley a lot. I think the time zone thing may be difficult with her in regards to communicating. As in today, she was saying good morning and people are already getting off of work. And so as long as she can stay up or, kind of turn her schedule around to benefit her social game, she's very likable. Every time she gets on Zoom, people are always talking to her, going to their confessional, saying how much they love her. Another wild card for Corzorg Legends, just because she's played once and she didn't have a big, shiny, fancy game right in your face like some people may have. So when you see her, you're like, okay, it's just Shelly, whatever. But she is a huge social threat in this game, and I definitely think she has it in her. There's a lot of big egos in front of her that people are not going to really be looking at Shelly. She's one of the other ones that if she that time zone thing does get to her and she's not really vocal, she may just be an easy early boot. But another person that I've been wanting to play for a long time that hasn't came back, so excited to see Shelly.
I do have experience playing with Shelly. My very first
Hmm.
game ever was with her. She was one of my very first alliance members. I just love me some Shelly. Um, Corey is saying about the time zone difference, and Shelly is amazing at letting you know her open windows. From this time, your time, I can talk till this time. She doesn't say, well, when it's 7 o'clock my time, I can talk to you. She says at 10 o'clock Central till 3 o'clock p.m. Central, I can talk to you. Like she's very good at letting you know when she's able to talk, if she wants to talk. She's very strategic, very competitive, and I am really excited to watch her play.
And I believe that she understands that the time zone is a big deal, and that she needs to make sure that they know when she's available and to work with their schedule, kind of like. And people, my understanding, and like that, they're like, yeah, I haven't talked to Shirley, but I text her and she will text me back, kind of like when she get up. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I
Shelly's
think she may be in the middle. I don't know if she will go that far. Maybe.
Shelly is someone who I'm genuinely very keen to see her play because I know she's a legend as well in Double Trouble, for instance, as well as just other orgs in general. I've heard very, very, very highly about her game as well as her social abilities and that sort of thing. She's an older school player, or at least Um, at least back in the COVID era, she was wrapping up more so. Um, I'm trying to think more about her that I'm missing. But obviously, I don't think she has that many relationships with people in this cast. And I honestly expected that she would have more connections, or I would hear more about her from people. As far as I know, no one's currently mentioning her name to be put up. So it's slightly worrying. But that being said, genuinely, from looking at the cast, I really expected her, or expect her still, to be the dark horse of the season, and would do something that I truly expect for myself to underestimate her, and her to come out with a bang and just do more, just do more. It is a very open opportunity she has to do whatever, since I don't particularly know her play style.
I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me from her season in Slasher Island was when we did that food challenge, and it was very like Americanized, but she found things in her kitchen that worked. I think she won that challenge too. That's one thing about, she lives in Australia, but she's not letting that be a disadvantage to any of the Americanized challenges that we give her. Like, she really like makes it work. Same thing, with Bianca as well. She was in South Africa and now she lives in Europe. So,
Mhm.
just again, not going to have that as a disadvantage. So I think if we do have another big, like, where we have to kind of make adjustments for those who live out of the states, she's one of those I know that will be just fine.
Okay, we have three more legends, so I think I'm going to carry on.
Yes.
Next up, we have Chris Collins. He has played 6 seasons already. There's his array. Surprisingly, he has quite a few immunities under his belt. These mostly came from his last season, actually, that he played. Um, so, ironically, maybe the winner status ended up boosting him a bit more. Aside from that, obviously, he has the win under his belt from Game Changers. But even still, ignore the season 6 placement. He's always had quite an upper echelon of placements under his belt. Um, but yeah, like, I'll leave it over to you guys to start describing him more.
I'll start. He's
Mhm.
one of my OG people besides Bo. He's extremely likable and he's also extremely sneaky. Do not underestimate him. He's very sneaky. Um, like season 10, for example, was not going in thinking I was ever going to vote for him. Not at all. But his speech like brought up everything, and like I saw a whole different side of him. And then to see him play all different other orgs as well, I'm like, whoa, this guy's smart. Not that I didn't think he was smart to begin with. He just like, because he's just very calm, collected, is not a big, he doesn't have this huge ego where he's bright and the shiny lights and everything. He doesn't like that. He's just straight to the point and just dominates quietly. And I love that.
Okay, I guess I'll go. I thought someone was unmuting. I think Chris is perhaps the most underrated player in Corey's Org history. He ranks up there. Um, we look at his immunity wins. So 6 is impressive, but you don't think him as an immunity threat, or I got to watch out for Chris. He's going to win immunity from me. He's not a threat to win idols or no-goes or whatever there is. You don't see him as that person that's going to solve riddles like a Austin, Nick, or Gabe. Smart, savvy when it comes to winning things of that nature. But he gets into a core alliance. He sticks with them. Again, very always under the radar. How many people can you say uh, is a former winner and comes in and no one looks at him, never ever looks at him, and he gets it all the way till top 10, and then then they start to target him. But um, he's going to come in, I think, the same exact way. Uh, you know, bond with some old school people, get make those social connections. Not necessarily has to win immunities, not necessarily has to win advantages to make it far. He comes in and he knows what to do. He's not a huge presence or like Mariah said, a huge ego. He links to the ones that he's with. And he's going to ride it out. I think he's another person that could be an easy target going, early on, or someone that's just going to hide behind Bobby and Carrie and Austin and Nick and not thought of until final 10. And then maybe possibly then I could see people saying you've already won, let me get my time to shine and take them out then. So I definitely see him as someone that can make the merge if he doesn't go for any kind of big splashes. I think
I
he's
think.
that the. I'm sorry, Gabe. I
No,
think
no.
he's someone that's always been underestimated by
Mhm.
myself and by a lot of the hosts and a lot of the players. So definitely give him his flowers. He deserves it.
So I think similarly, his play style is extremely under the radar. Um, I think particularly, I think he's making it. I don't say far in the sense of like a top five, not out of this world, but I don't see him being the first five booted or anything of the sort. Um, what he needs for sure is not himself, but the environment to be chaotic. If the environment is chaotic, Chris is making it far, guaranteed. Um, as long as that happens, um, no one's going to use their slingshot at Chris, but instead use him to rally up the numbers um, in their position. And I just think with a season of 26 players and it being legends, it's more likely to be on the messier side rather than straightforward. And even so, swaps, there's the different twists, advantages. Like there will be more chaos, and I just think Chris will inevitably benefit from it at least a few inverted commas few placements down and just have a seat on the table when it comes to when the proper middle game comes in to be a contender on where the targets will be pushed or not. Um, so I cannot say with guarantee that Chris is going to make it to the very end, but I would say that he is more a lot more guaranteed compared to others to be seen there in the middle of the game.
I just wanted to add in, I
Mhm.
don't know a lot about Chris's game. I don't know a lot about his gameplay. But my favorite moment was when they
Mhm.
were in the challenge and they were blindfolded and it was so funny. They were like making noises and talking, and one person couldn't talk, one person couldn't see,
Mhm.
another person couldn't hear. It was just, it was a chaotic challenge and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Okay, I'm going to move on from Chris. Um, I think this is our. Oh, actually, there might be one more person I'm
Do
forgetting.
do did we do
Mhm.
Tyler yet?
No, then
Okay,
last
so
two.
then
You're
I
right.
have two left.
Exactly, Trenton
Okay.
and Tyler. So, our last person from Gata is Trenton, who has played two times already, season 8 and season 15. Both times he got sixth place out of a cost of 16. Okay. He has one immunity under his belt, and he had the extra vote in season 15 that was a mess of a tribal, but either way, it was obviously up against very good players. Um, Trent, like, I'll just start it off on like usual, where I give the floor to you guys. Trenton, I don't know him in the deepest of ways, but all things considered, he always has some sort of a way to end up in positions where the there is a big player in the game that recruits him, I feel like. And he is able to do his own independent thing. I never felt like he was just a follower or just an egotistical maniac trying to prove his own way or something. And um, it's enjoyable to find a more versatile player around. Um, I would be slightly concerned if, what's it called? If it ever comes down to split-second decisions, to consider consequences of certain actions. But aside from that, I can't think of much. I don't know how many people he knows in this game, but at the same time, given the seasons he's played, he should be peppered in a bit more to be considered when it comes for either old school or new school, but at the same time, flipping the coin around, he could also be a sacrifice to be for people to be like, oh, hey, old school doesn't exist. Let us sacrifice Trenton to prove it or something.
I don't know a whole lot about Trenton other than like some inside jokes that we have, but I'm wondering how he will play with Matt, and is Tyler also season 8 as well?
Yes. Mhm.
Is there anyone else from season 8 besides
I
them three?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Um,
So I don't know how well if they work together in season 8, so I'm interested to see if those three will link up at all. We'll see.
I think they will.
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I mean, right now, Matt and Trenton are on the same tribe, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a weird take.
Mhm.
Kind of like we said with Megan, or you touched a lot about that with Megan. Gabe is she has a lot of connections, and that may do her in with, like you said, with Amy and with this person. If one of them wants to hurt, to vote a certain way, I
Mhm.
think Trenton has the right amount of connections in this game. He is
Agreed.
not like super well known where everybody want to work with Trenton, but he's also not like a newbie that no one knows at all. So I mean, I think he has just the amount of people around him or that know him that want to work with him. He has someone like Matt. He has someone like Tyler. He
Mhm.
does have Christina, which I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but and I think that's going to benefit Trenton, and he does have a good shot. I like what you said, Gabe. Like, there's no old school vibe. Let's get rid of someone, and he can be like a sacrifice, or I can see him possibly getting idled out or screwed over somehow. But yeah, I really like Trenton's chances, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he can grow past that 6th spot.
I feel like if someone puts in this slideshow effort to do the slideshow or whatever and just focus on placements and seasons played, I do think that it would be better for him and people realize Trenton only has 5 relationships, aka 3 people from 4 relationships, 3 people from season 8, 3 people from season 15. So, and those people that play those seasons are people that have a lot more relationships. So if one of those 4 people or more than one of those 4 connects with him, they know they most likely have him, and he has access to people that will be more movers and shakers of this game a lot easier than other people like Trenton need to build up more from. But yeah, like the potential is definitely there. It feels to me more so that other people need to realize it, and I don't particularly see Trenton approaching the game in that way um, to get things going. Ironically, since you guys mentioned like what kind of duo would be interesting for me, rather than him ending up with Matt or whatever, I would be very interested to see Trenton and Cody together. I think they would mesh decently well, honestly.
I'm interested to see that if it happens.
Um, does anyone else have anything else to say, or should we move on?
We can buzz on our way.
Next
All right.
one. Save the
No,
best for
Last
last.
one for the
Ty-
best.
Tyler M. Obviously, we don't have another Tyler, but he's still Tyler M to me. he, uh, Tyler is someone who has 3 seasons under his belt, and it's so weird to say that out loud just because I'm used to him having season 8 and 10, and it being such a long while to have seen him. But still, either way, he has had he has had his two fourth place finishes in 8 and 10, and recently he has just played season 19 where he made it midway through. Yeah, I'll leave it over to you guys because obviously it's one of those people that there's a lot to say about Tyler.
You want to go, Mariah?
I was just gonna say,
Oh,
but
sorry.
another one that I love and adore very much, outside of game. He's
Mhm.
definitely, and we've said this with a lot of the cast, someone that you don't want to cross with. He could be a very big teddy bear and love you, but if you do wrong him, he's gonna throw rice. He's throwing it out. It's gone. You fucked up, and he will let you know. So I'm interested to see how he does with some of the other season 10 players. So he may work with them for a little bit and then cut them. So we'll see.
I think it's cool that he also is a new player, because he played on 8, 10, and then 19 for new. And I played with him season 10, and I got swapped, and he actually flipped and saved people. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then he flipped back and got to 7th. So I really hope he goes through. And maybe if he need to, flip on somebody else.
I have really enjoyed watching Tyler play and also playing with him. Um, he's not afraid to use advantages
Mhm.
for a group he's in. He's not just, I'm going to use this just on me to protect me. But if our group needs to use this to get us to a better spot for next tribal, he's not afraid to do that. He's selfless in that way. In his confessionals and just when he's on Zoom and stuff, he just have these little quippy one-liners that they just have me chuckling the whole time. He's just got little good off the tip of his tongue to spit something out, and it's just funny and hits it on the mark right in that moment. And I can't wait to see what kind of tea he spills because he loves spilling all kinds of tea and rice and everything else. So I can't wait to see what's being spilled this season.
I love Tyler. I do. uh, Tyler's on my fantasy team. I think he's someone that can really honestly win. I think other than that idle play the last season, he could have won the whole thing. You could say that about all three times he's played Corey Zorg. I mean, he was that close of winning.
Mhm.
And he's someone that will cut your throat and don't care. He will cause drama, but still is very well liked and loved in the org community. Like there's a lot of people we know that cause drama in orgs or is a villain and people can't stand them and are just kind of like ugh. But Tyler's someone that can slit your throat, laugh at you, and then you wake up after a coma in the hospital and you're like, I love Tyler. Had an honor he did that to me. Like he's just that guy. Of course we all have known him and how kind he is outside of the game and met him, but I definitely think he's someone that can go all the way to the end. I really hope to see that Pro Islands alliance and maybe that Game Changers alliance. And then I hope he maybe spills the rice on them again and takes them out and latches on to some of these newbies. So I'm really, really, really excited to see Tyler play. I hope he stays around. I think he's going to make a very, very, very deep run.
Tyler, I absolutely love as well. I remember particularly season, just like I said, Christina was my season 6 winner pick. Tyler was actually my season 10 one.
Mm.
His route went different than I expected with the rice spilling and everything. But ironically, I recall as well when he spilled the rice, every I felt like a lot of the cast said, "There's no way Tyler's going to make it far now." Blah blah blah. He's out the door. In my head, I'm like, Tyler is guaranteed to make it to the end now. I really thought once he spilled the rice, it's he's going to get to be either taken to the end or wins himself to the end, and then by then so much time passes that people might change their mind on him. But I don't think that was his intention or anything of the sort. But if nothing else, Tyler is very entertaining, and obviously we know that he's good in challenges and has strategic social mind for it, so he has the potential of being a triple threat, or just at the very least a good, well-rounded player. So it's very exciting to see him back. Like, I'm kind of not counting season 19 just because the longer game aspect. Like, his season 8 and 10 games were so fascinating. I'm really curious how he'll span into another legendary type of season.
I think Tyler's
Mhm.
one of those people that if he were on Real Survivor, he would be the fan favorite. Like people would love
Oh
his
yeah.
minors, people would laugh at him, people would cheer for him. He would,
Him, Ed, a
yeah,
lot. Oh, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So
That it.
we can go back to currently. Oops.
Oh,
There.
I'm
That's me. No, no, no.
the season 1 winner.
I know this has been long. Had it in mind to still include the 6 questions and just review, like, discuss what we expect or what the results actually were according to the fantasy thing. If you guys don't mind, I really don't think it
I
will
don't
take
mind.
too much longer, but that's about it. But obviously, I get the impending time.
Come here.
All right, I'll go ahead and start off. I'll just skip into it and tell you guys currently the top 3, 4, 5 and the bottom 3, 4, 5 people of who got the most fantasies picks for them. So in order I'll start from 5 upwards. So fifth place of the people that put their fantasy picks the most was Bobby with 9 picks out of 30, which is almost a third of the people. Uh, Next up, there was Ashley, who also is 9 but has a bit more all-star picks compared to Bobby. Then in third is Matt. Next up,
Wow.
mhm. Next up is Amy Zabel with 12. Matt had 11, by the way. And then also with 12 in first, because I forgot to mention her, was Megan, who had 5 all-star picks, but still 12.
Wow.
I
So
was thinking Amy Z, and Megan were gonna be the top picks for sure.
I'm not sure if any guy, if they're Corey sounded like maybe he's surprised that Matt's there. Maybe he
I
expected him to be in
was.
the bottom.
Me too.
No,
I mean,
but
he was my all-star pick, but I was just surprised. I figured Amy's able, of course, and Ashley.
I expected more new school players in terms of,
Mhm.
obviously it's hard to get old school players to
Right.
participate, but it makes sense. In terms of Matt being the only old school,
She went
I
up to
I'm counting Amy as a newer school player, but she probably has the picks from other orgs she's played, and people come in and see her name. But yeah, so I'm not sure anyone else has any other it's called, but we can move on. I'll try and actually share my screen so you guys can at the very least see it as well.
It doesn't share your messages, does it?
We'll just
I
say
mean,
that.
I could just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That would not make good.
Yeah. No, like on the next one, right now it's a bit weird, but
First,
on the next one I'll actually share my screen.
first message. Corey always sucks.
So
I can't believe I wasted the last 4 hours of my life with him.
bottom 5 Then fifth of the bottom is Trenton with 2 picks and one of them being Gold Star. Then there's a tie of only 2 picks regular between Paul and Shelley. And then there's another tie with only 1 pick each of Ben and LJ. And that's our bottom 5 fantasy picks.
Dang, it's messed up, y'all.
I'm a little
um,
surprised that Paul is on in the bottom,
I am.
but
Mm,
maybe he's not that well known.
I think the break is a part of it. I mentioned this, but Jake isn't here, for instance, despite also having a break. Um, um, yeah, I wouldn't fully expect it, but Paul might not be necessarily the. If I think of Paul, I would think of Korzorg, to be fair, but maybe most other people wouldn't, and think of other orcs because I don't know what else he's done. I just don't know what he's associated with, and maybe there aren't Viewer Lounge fans there. But um, it might make sense. But I kind of expected like maybe Trenton would have had a bit more of a following or something. But anyways,
Mhm.
to reiterate, it's um, Trenton, Paul and Shelley, then Ben and LJ. Okay, let me go ahead
I will
and
say, picking only 5 people, just having a fantasy is just already really freaking hard for this
Mhm.
cast because if you're listening for 3 hours, every
Yeah,
single person we said we love them, and we really
yeah.
do mean it because
Uh-huh.
so it was really freaking hard to pick 5 people.
I'm going to preempt and say shout out to Matt and Ed, who I expect will be hearing this all 3 hours and 15 minutes. Other than that, whoever made it this far, also congrats to you.
Good job,
um,
everyone.
Let me share my screen. I won't get to it yet, in terms of like to window this one. Okay, so hopefully I can remove and share. Right. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing it or not. Okay. Um, trying to see if I can zoom in. Okay. So there were 6 questions in mind as well, which is simply who do you think will not make the merge, and I'll show you guys the results. Ignore the one above. Um, if anyone wants to make a quick guess of something, feel free. But aside from that, I can just carry on with the results, and I'll let you know. You'll get to see
I
what
don't
most people think.
remember who I said. Um,
I said LJ, but
I think
Um,
I also said LJ, but
I
I
didn't
thought
see you, LJ. I know you ain't gonna be sitting
it
here 3 hours,
it
but
might be Amy Adams or Diane
I can see myself
or
having done
Shelley.
Amy Adams, but if I were to go back, maybe I would have
I did
changed
Amy
it
Adams.
to. I could have seen my if I were to do it now, I could have changed it to Diane. Just
Or
being unsure.
Christina, maybe.
It's possible. Like it's
I
definitely
don't
possible.
know. I don't even remember
Um,
who I said. I think I said LJ.
I can go check for one sec if that's since you're
No, you
asking.
can. No, you can. You don't have to see mine. We can just. We can
Okay.
just continue. We can
oh,
just
we want to
move
see.
on.
We
I
want to see
okay. I
Three
Mariah.
know who
hours, 17 minutes, and 30 seconds. Let's go.
I know who you have if you want, but I can carry on as well. Um, anyways, so the person that actually got the most was Cameron, who I don't think anyone of us actually said.
Oh,
Really quick,
Ooh.
since they're
oh.
here, Cody,
Cody,
Amy
Amy.
Adams, and
Oh,
Ben.
Ben.
But Cameron is the person that has the most. Any thoughts?
Ed was one too. The other
No.
10%.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yep.
wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Who was the? Who was the? Who was the least?
Least. Oh, there are many people with 0 votes.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's too many to count.
Well, I guess like never mind. Okay.
But yeah, any thoughts on the idea that Cameron would go out?
I think maybe people just didn't know him and they just selected him.
I
Yeah,
was
I think so too.
I do know that Cameron has had. I didn't actually vote Cameron, but to be fair, I know he's gotten third boot twice in Broski. I believe he had an early boot in one of the seasons of animation. I could be wrong, but he has had a streak of getting early boots in the past, so that is actually not surprising, but I didn't consider it, to be fair. So it was surprising seeing, but then with some thought, it makes sense.
Yeah,
To
when I voted, I never thought about voting Cameron. I
Mhm.
thought he would make it past March.
So, next question. Who do you think will win an individual immunity? Just one is enough. No need to be the prime challenge beast, but
Amy
uh-huh.
Zabel.
I think I said Amy Zabel or Paul or Bobby.
You said Bobby. I don't know what Corey
Bobby?
said.
I don't
Yep.
know who I said, but I think maybe Austin, maybe.
Ironically, I forgot myself what I said, but there to just go ahead and get to the
Mhm.
results.
Yes.
The
Oh,
person that got the most was Nick. I
oh,
don't. I honestly
Yeah, I
duh,
don't
can
think
see
I
that
put
too.
Nick, but it
duh,
does make sense. Really
duh.
quick, since they are here, they are worth mentioning.
Okay.
Bobby and also Austin, Cyrus, which
Cyrus.
I am
Mm.
surprised to be quite
Okay.
honest. Diane,
Diane's
not
another
gonna lie,
one.
also surprised, and
Oh, I
Matt.
said Matt.
Okay. I'm not
Did you?
seeing the results for the sake of it. Diane and Cyrus, I don't particularly see it. I know they've won immunities in the past, but still, like compared to other people that are possible.
Mhm.
But yeah, kudos to Nick for sure. Um, I didn't. I know I didn't. I considered him, but I just wanted to be sure to be some. I forgot who I voted for, but I know I was thinking I want someone who I feel like is more guaranteed making the merge. Um, but yeah. Any other thoughts you guys have?
Shocked that Amy's not there.
You know what? That's fair.
No one? Oh,
Okay, she's here
two
with
people
only two
did.
votes, but yeah, that's very low, all things considered. Considering Diane got 3 votes and Cyrus 2.
And Nick got how many?
6
Four?
out
6.
of 30, so it's actually quite significant.
Mm-hmm.
And all things considered, another thing to help Nick out, going through the list, a lot of people are new schoolers or people who have never played Corey's Arc. There aren't that many season 1 till season 10 people that's participated. Um, so next up, the next question is who will have an idol played on them. So this was a clever way of saying something like either they'll use one themselves or someone will use it on them, kind of thing.
Like, okay, so wait. Vote for the person that you think that the idol will
Will
be played on them.
exactly. An idol will be played on them, including someone
I
as
don't
an idol and
remember
plays
who I said at all. But if
Mhm.
I had to like say someone now, I would think
Megan.
because I was gonna say like Carrie playing on Megan. Yeah, just about to say that because she's done it before. Or Megan playing on Carrie. Like I would say it would be between if Amy Adam makes it further, then it would be one of those three. They would because of
Mhm.
that situation in season 16. They would
With the
choose
way
her.
the question was phrased, Carrie can also play an idol on herself, by the way, and that counts,
Oh well,
obviously.
then yeah, she. But I can see her doing it for herself, of course. But I can also see her
Basically,
giving it to someone else, either playing it on her husband, of course,
mhm,
or Megan.
if you think, let's say Carrie is great at getting advantages, but also great at being safe herself, you, you don't need to vote for her. But then, like, if Megan is more in danger but very close to Carrie, then you'll vote for Megan in this scenario, kind of thing. There was obviously maybe not a majority, but an overwhelming result towards Austin. Which all things considered,
Okay.
like, I'm not gonna lie, I voted
Austin
Austin
and
myself.
Nick. That was my thought was
I'm
just
pretty
because
confident.
they did it on season 10.
Really quick, Amy and Diane and Bobby
And
had
he did.
the
I mean, play it on himself. He definitely, yeah.
um worth noting as well that there are Ed and Ashley as much as Bobby. Um, but yes, Austin, 1000%, like it does make sense, in my
It
opinion,
does.
and I vote for him. I
I
don't
think
know if
that's who
there's a
I'd
game.
pick. I think I picked Austin.
Gotcha. I'm guessing Nick only had one, but it's I still think Austin has a better shot at getting the idols and things like that. I don't know if the lounge is filled with pro Diane people, which I don't blame. She's uh, a legendary character. I genuinely don't like. I know an org where Diane won an immunity, but I don't know a single org where Diane has. As far as I know, I could be misleading myself. I think this is an idea where someone would play an idol on Diane rather than Diane playing an idol on herself, though.
Mhm.
So it would be
Mhm.
something like a useful number to keep around.
Yeah,
And I still think Amy's Able is similar to Austin, where it's a powerhouse of a person having the idol.
definitely.
I'm trying to
Definitely.
see
Yeah,
if
I could
there's.
see Amy playing the idol too.
Corey, do you have any thoughts? Or Miranda, obviously.
Not on that one.
No worries. So,
Questionable.
And also, Ed played
Mhm.
on in season 10 and saved himself.
Yep, I know that all too well. Loved it. Sir Dylan, will there be at least one rock draw?
I
Which
said yes. I mean, this
Yeah, that's
season
what I
has
did.
a lot of great people. I think there's definitely going to be a couple of them, maybe.
I actually said no, but
No.
we can in terms of when I voted, and mostly it's kind of like I am not sure. I think some people are so excited that they might not want to risk to increase their placements and whatever that they might
Mhm.
not want to risk it. Um, but it depends, just the chances of them going out or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just kind of had this feeling that it might not happen. Um, in fact, it was actually quite close, I would say. But there was a bit more people saying no, 17 to 13, which I think is basically close to a 50-50, all things considered. So it's not an overwhelming majority still. But
Yeah.
obviously, that's a bit more of a fun prediction, and we'll see how that turns out.
Mhm.
Okay? Right. So, next up, this one is interesting. Which OG tribe will have the better average placement? Doesn't mean you'll have the winner. It just means that the other tribe will have more losers. um, but this one is quite interesting.
I
Before I should go
I think
ahead.
I flipped a coin for this one.
Okay. I'm going like I'm not going to show you guys yet who actually won, but I'm going to show you the ratio. So, oops, my
Yeah,
Oh,
bad.
well.
Oh well, I showed you
Too
the
late.
actual. Doesn't matter. I'll
I'm
take it
proud
off
Oh,
of
the.
that.
damn.
But yeah, despite it being in blue, the green tribe is the one that is overwhelming, and the blue tribe is lesser so. So obviously that's
I think it's because I'm looking at both tribes right now, and I think it might be because you do have uh I don't want to use big egos, but like just
yeah,
big
present.
strong men on the Wassa Wassa tribe, and I feel like they're so competitive, they're going to be in each other's way too much, wanting to be on the top. And whereas
Um,
Gata, they have um more people that will actually like they work as a team and they blend and slither with each other because it
that's
means
very fair.
so I think with Wassa Wassa there's just very like there's going to be a lot of head bunting, and then with Gata you have more of a more blended team.
I actually voted for Wasa Wasa on this. Um, but I will say like, and I'll get to it a bit soon. It definitely was a lot of like Gata Tribe is the one that you expect to do better, and it's because of that I went with Wasa Wasa on this one. out of. I think Wasa Wasa will explode, implode, and they won't work together. I think they'll be scooped up by the other side. I think some of them will be early boots. But then I think there will be two factions formed where, because of those um, magnetic personalities trying to push themselves up, might end up having power positions or long or be seen as less threats, either or, that will end up increasing their placement. I still think, ironically, at the end, if I had to choose, I think the winner will be from God either way. Where it's is a basically, I expect a very back and forth game.
Mhm.
And hopefully I'm right at the very least
The
about the back
winner
and
is
forth.
from Gata. His name is Brandon.
Well, someone said it was Matt as well. So we'll see.
Well, that someone's not here right now. They're busy.
Okay. Um, does anyone else have anything else to add? This is the last question we're getting to after
Mm-mm.
this.
Nope.
Okay. Finally, ever so finally. Same question, but this time, which season will produce the best average placement? Which will be the best season represented this season of Legends?
I put season 10.
See, I was also going to do 10, but then I said 16, mostly
Oh,
for
yeah.
I
Megan
said
and
10.
Carrie.
I went with 8. I would say I think it was at the start watching it was actually more leaning towards new school people, but in the end it mixed out decently well. So a part of like at the end, if there's one season 16, for instance, if Amy doesn't do well and is one of the first 5 boots, then that crumbles it. But that being said, the current tie is between All Stars season 6 and season 16. I miss
Okay.
it's Robin Williams, but we'll also shout out season 12, season 10, and season 3, which I'm surprised to see season 3 here, honestly, right now.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because there were a lot more new school seasons around when I first looked at at the results earlier.
Mm,
So it's nice to see some old school representation. Um,
that's the
but
best season, in my opinion.
it is definitely up there. But yeah, for me, season 8 had Tyler M, Matt, and Trenton, and I'm just banking on them at least all making merge, hopefully, for me. But anyways, I'm going to stop the share, and if you guys have any other thoughts or something, feel free.
I'm just really excited for this season. It's already officially started and everything, but it's really nice to see some faces that I have not spoken to, especially on a Zoom call in
Mhm.
forever, and also seeing some of the new school back so soon. But I'm hoping that with the Corey's org drama that had happened 5 years ago, I'm hoping everything can just like it's all just kind of coming back and we can all just be one big family like we're supposed to be. Dysfunctional family. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this season.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. When I was picking my when I picks, I was having a lot of time. I thought a lot of people was going to do well, and I still don't know who's going to win. But I hope whoever would do win, I believe they would have played the best game, and they wouldn't vote just because they are friends with them. I know season they have happened that people only vote because you are friend with them, but I don't think this cast that will go. I think it's going to be based on gameplay.
Here's hoping for the best. So really quick, Corey, you said your winner prediction is Matt. Mariah, I think you said Brandon right now. Um, I'm torn right now between Ashley and Brendan, but just to be different, I'll just say Ashley, just so it's a different person. But if it was Brendan, I'll say, oh, I was so close. Rachel, do you have anyone? I know you just said you were kind of
I
unsure.
don't even remember who I picked. I was
Oh, okay.
debating about all the people.
Okay, okay. Then I'll just assume you're all-star pick, which was Bobby. So you'll
Okay,
expect
Bobby.
him to be the winner. Okay. That's about it from my end. But if you guys, especially Corey, want to end this in a more honorable way, feel free.
Shut up, Gabe. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm super stoked for this
Mhm.
season. I know y'all are tired of hearing me talk about it for the last year. It's finally here, so
Okay.
I'm glad I have these people by my side. So I'm excited to see what happens, and I hope some people prove us wrong. And it's
Mhm.
every elimination is going to be tough. Like we kept saying we love this person, we love this person, we love this person. So every tribal is going to be tough for us, at least. To say goodbye to some of these legends. But I'm just excited for the gameplay, for the advantages. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. So thank y'all all so much for watching, Matt and Ed, and no one else will probably see this.
Okay, that's about it. I'm going to end the stream right now, hoping for the
Bye.
best, and see you guys. Bye. Good luck for the season
Bye.
and stream.